Welcome to Commerce, Texas, home of the East Texas A&M Lions, as they are hosting the Lamar Cardinals in a battle for third place in the Southland Conference. Both teams winning their conference opener and coming into tonight trying to go 2-0 in the Southland Conference. Greg Higgins, Adam Routon joining me. And Adam, we'll start with the home team, the Lions. You know, this tough preseason schedule, you know, playing SMU, playing Florida State, playing Grambling, a tough road to start the season. Then last week they go to a Northwestern State and really just put together a complete performance as they walk away with a 40-10 win over the Northwestern State.
Yeah, this is a very impressive win for the Lions, as this was a team that through the beginning of the season, and they had some tough games, and they had spots where they played well. You know, the game against Grambling, pretty solid performance in a lot of areas, but just some mistakes got them.
Gentlemen,
North Carolina Central,
on behalf of Supervisor,
again, had some mistakes, but finally found a way to win last week, and we're going to see if that carries over into this week's matchup.
And then you got the Lamar Cardinals coming into this game, 4-1 on the season, winning their last four. They lost at North Texas to open the season 51-0, but then playing South Dakota, who was ranked number 4 in the polls at that time. They played Texas Southern, Central Arkansas, and then getting the win against Nichols 24-17 in their home, or in their opener in the Southland Conference. So team of, opposite records, but both of them 1-0 in the Southland Conference, and Lamar coming in trying to make a statement. They've beaten the Lions the last 2 times they played. Last year it was a nail-biter down to the end, game-winning field goal with 11 seconds left, getting a touchdown with 2 seconds left. But
that was an exciting game last year. I mean, Texas A&M back then, Commerce ties it up, and then Lamar gets the ball back and takes the lead with an 11-second field goal to take the lead back and win that game. Just a really, really big win, but exciting. And yeah, they've kind of they're 2-0 since East Texas has joined the Southland Conference, and they played each other. But getting to play back-to-back home games Europe because of the UT Rio Grande Valley football program coming in, and everything got jumbled. So Lamar having to make this trip up here twice in a row.
The Lions lead the series 8-7 in the 15 meetings, but like we said, Lamar winning the last 2. Last year, 29-20. So we'll see exactly how this shakes up here tonight.
You have to get in the Wayback Machine to go find the last time the Lions won, because there was several years they didn't play up until the Southland Conference reuniting these two teams. So while the Lions do hold the edge in this, in recent history, everything has broke the Cardinals' way.
Yeah, the last win in the series came in Beaumont in 1963.
Right. Neither one of us were born. I'm not even that old.
Not at all. And the last win at home was in 1960. So the Lions trying to reverse that tonight. The Cardinals looking to continue that streak against the Lions. Glad to have you along. It's a beautiful day here in northeast Texas. We're about 70 miles northeast of Dallas. It's about 250 miles that separates these two campuses. Lamar kicking off wearing their white jerseys with the red pants and the red helmets. The Lions in their gold jerseys. Fair catch called for in the end zone.
This passing offense of the Lions is something Coach Russell Mondo was talking about this week, having to be prepared for. He said, they're not afraid to throw the ball. They're familiar with Ron Peace. He had a pretty good game against them last year in that matchup, so he knows he's going to see a passing attack out of East Texas A&M that he really hasn't seen a lot of this year. So his defense is going to be tested. He's looking forward to see how his team responds.
And Clint Dozell, the coach for the Lions, talked about this Lamar defense and how he doesn't feel like they've seen a team that can pass the ball quite like the Lions can, and he feels like that they match up well with this team and expects to be able to move the ball. And here's a running play on the first play of the game. It's going to go for a couple of yards for the Lions.
KJ Schenkel.
Schenkel, yep.
Getting the run. He had a good week. Him and Oakland both had a great week last week, right?
Yeah, just a phenomenal four-quarter game from the Lions last week.
But what you saw last week is, Coach Dalzell's been trying to make a commitment to the run for a while. Last week, they made a commitment to the run at Northwestern, and both of those guys just had a phenomenal night.
Yeah, they felt like they could run the ball last week, and they did, over 250 yards on the ground, as this ball is just going to be thrown away by Peace. Good pressure on that left side for the Cardinal defense. C.J. Miller, the linebacker, was all in Peace's face.
Yeah, I kind of forced that throw, and there was nothing open. The coverage downfield by that backfield was solid for the Cardinals, going to set up this 3rd and long.
3rd down from their own 27 are the Lions. 37% on 3rd down conversions for the season is the Lions offense. Here's a screen pass to Schenkel, and nice open field tackle by Lamar, as that was Christian Pugh on that.
Yeah, Christian Pugh just makes a solid play right there at the line. Shut that little screen down for looked like a loss of about 1 on that.
They're going to say loss of 2 and make it 4th down and 10. Back to the original line of scrimmage. So 3 and out. Good job on the Cardinal defense.
Ben Meehan with a nice punt there for the Lions. Going to be fielded and run. First tackler missed. The spin move happens. That was Kenan Fusilier.
Flag on the near side by the Lions bench comes in after the play.
Not much room there for Fusilier, but boy, he had a big week last week for the Cardinals.
We'll see what the call is on the flag. There was some jostling going around.
Holding. Receiving team number 12. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. 1st down, Lamar.
Not what you want of the Cardinals. You got really good field position. Your defense holds. You got a punt, but you got great field position. And then you get that holding call. So instead of being near midfield, you're back at the 35-yard line. Just got to clean that type of stuff up as you go through the season if you're wanting to make a run into the contention for the playoffs.
Lamar averaging 53 yards of penalties per game coming in.
Referees correct themselves. It's going to go back to the 25-yard line.
Ball is placed at the 25-yard line for the Cardinals. 1st down 10.
So Cardinals 75 yards away from the end zone on their opening drive. There's a play-action pass to that right side and not going anywhere on the play. As Devin Gibbs, the tight end.
Levon Williams in on the tackle there for the Lions.
To gain 2 on the play. 2nd down 8.
For progress gives him 2 yards to the 27. Aiden McCown quarterbacking this Lamar team, and handoff is maybe a yard.
Was that Joshua Robinson with the carry for Lamar? And this is a team, when you look at their stats through 5 games, Greg, they are almost dead even run pass yardage. They run, they pass about the same. They're going to get about 150, 140 to 150 yards a game doing each. So you got to expect a balanced attack. Got to be a pass here, though, right?
You would think so. And back to pass, and then a step up with nobody open. The ball comes out, picked up by the Lions, and that's going to be run in for a touchdown.
Kyrie Anderson, number 6, with the strip. He was stood up. The quarterback stood up. Coleman was stood up by the first man that hit. Kyrie comes in and just plays the ball, knocks it out of hands, gets a scoop and score on that left side for the Lion defense, being opportunistic here and giving them an early lead.
Yeah, there was nothing downfield for Aiden McCown, and he decided to run with it. And as you said, a great play on defense by Kyrie Anderson, the linebacker, able to get the fumble and the recovery for the touchdown.
I didn't see who had the stop, but he's able to come in and get the strip and score.
So it's the defense that gets on the board first as East Texas A&M goes up 7-0. There's under 3 minutes to play gone by in this first quarter. Lions on top 7-0 after that scoop and score. Fumble recovery, run back for a touchdown. He stripped the ball, as we're going to see a replay of this, just a phenomenal play. As Anderson strips the ball, picks it up, and untouched into the end zone.
Kyrie had an entourage into the end zone, making sure he got there safely.
Lions up 7-0 after that play. So the second possession for the Cardinals will start at the 25, just like the first. We talked about all the offense, and it's a defensive score that gets the game going.
Well, this is an opportunistic defense, the Lions here. They have a fair amount of turnovers I was looking at before the game. They're getting the job done on defense. Doesn't reflect in their record, but they've played, like we said, some really, really tough teams to start this year. They're first in the Southland Conference right now. It's early in forced fumbles, and they're fifth in the nation for forced fumbles. So this is a defense that will create opportunities with a turnover.
That's only the second lost fumble of the season for Lamar. And here's a rollout. Receivers open near the 45-yard line as the catch was Blake Thomas makes the sliding catch up at the 44.
That was a nice move by Thomas. He saw the quarterback in trouble. He began to run toward him to give him somebody to throw to, got himself open, McCown delivered a strike and moved the chains there for the Cardinals.
Hey, good job, McCown, to buy some time getting away from the rush and being able to turn his body, running to his left, turn his body, and get the ball out to the 44. So first down, handoff, and going absolutely nowhere is Xavier Coleman.
First man there was Kobe Sebastian King for the Lions, joined by about 3 other guys to help bring him down for that loss.
Loss of 5 on the play, all the way back to the 39.
And King was the one that made the stop on the quarterback in that last possession that allowed Anderson to get that scoop and score.
So it's be second down and 15 for the offense of the Cardinals. McCown is going to hand it off, and another tackle for a loss. This time the handoff given to McDowell.
Tackle made by Sean Christoph King, as this defense is just firing on all cylinders. They're getting in the backfield, disrupting the run lanes. 3rd and 17 here for the Cardinals. Looks like we're going to get a timeout.
Timeout taken by the Lions. I'm not sure. Maybe they just didn't have the right personnel out there. Maybe they didn't see. Maybe the lineup, or they didn't like the offensive. But that's kind of weird to take a timeout that soon with a 3rd and 17.
I didn't count, but there might not have been enough personnel out. And that might have been one of those where we don't have the right people or there are enough people out there. I was trying to count as they came off the field, but then you had people coming from the sidelines, and I just lost it in a sea of East Texas A&M gold.
Big play here for both teams as the Cardinals 3rd down and 17, and we talked about the Lions. His defense with holding right now the Cardinals at a -5 rushing yards.
This is a slow day for the Southland Conference. Only 2 games. They're both happening right now. You got our game here, and then you've got down in Houston, Northwestern at HCU. In that game, HCU with an early 7-0 lead.
Here it's 3rd down and 17 for the Cardinals. Down. Back pass, a lot of time. He's got a receiver. It's going to be enough for a 1st down, as McCown just waits and waits and waits and find Fusilier for the catch.
Fusilier, hard to say. Kidden had a nice route there. He was covered, but he had just half a step and gets himself open. Ball thrown where nobody can touch it but him. That's going to put him in the Lions side of the field.
Needed 17. He got 19. What a great strike by McCown. It's a handoff up the middle. There's positive yards on a run. We haven't seen much of that from the Cardinals so far in the game. But Robinson able to get some yards.
But what you are seeing is this Lion defense really crashing the interior, and it's setting up that run option for McCown to pull that ball out and get around the end for some serious yards at some point in this game.
2nd down and 6 at the 40 of the Lions. Another handoff. Good running room on that left side for Robinson once again. Able to get a couple yards.
Yeah, you're going to get runs like that. Set yourself up with 3rd and 4. Might as well keep doing it, right?
Yeah, and I'm assuming the Cardinals, they're probably happier with a 3rd and 4 than a 3rd and 17.
I think it's I mean, they made the 3rd and 17 conversion.
That's right.
But
that's right. If they don't make this, then maybe they start deciding, let's try for longer. I doubt it.
Typically, you want the 3rd and short. Oh, they jumped.
Yeah, there's a free play, and the ball is going to be overthrown for the intended receiver, Robinson, but
Caleb Miles defended it well, but that's going to be a free 1st down with the defense jumping.
Officials converge to talk it over. It looked like on that left side of the line they jumped.
Defense number 6. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
5-yard penalty gives them a 1st down.
Anderson just a little too anxious to get back there and make a tackle, maybe another scoop and score,
Right.
Nice drive being put together here by the Cardinals.
After the first couple of plays went for negative yards, they've had, like you said, good drive. Hand off to Coleman. A couple of yards up to the 30.
Yeah, what you see there, that center and left side of the line, Elias Ripley, Reggie Brooks, and Cortez Winslow just winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, reestablishing it backwards a couple yards. There wasn't a lot of running room. They just pushed the line of scrimmage that far back, allowing the running back to get a few yards there.
2nd down and 7. Option. McCown decides to pull it out and throw it, and it's almost intercepted. Went right through the hands of Caleb Miles.
Isaiah Jones stumbled on that route and just wasn't doing it. So Miles was running the route better at that point, and yeah, you almost had their 2nd turnover of the game in that corner route. Sets up another 3rd and kind of long.
See what they do here. Late substitution. Play clock at 5. And handoff. And going nowhere again is Coleman. Maybe a gain of a yard.
I don't get that. They subbed out a tight end and brought in a wide receiver for obviously a pass package, and then you try to catch them with the run when they've been defending that run pretty well. Going to set up this 4th, and they don't have a field goal over 40 yards yet this season. So I was wondering if we're going to see the first one, or if they're going to just go for it here. It looks like they're going to go for it.
Looks like they're going to go for it. They got the offense thing in, and maybe you try and do a hard count, draw them off sides, and make it a 4th and 1. And we're going to have a timeout taken by the Cardinals. 6:54 left in this first. Is 4th and 6.
I think maybe Coach Rosamondo was just going to see what kind of defensive scheme Coach Dalzell's staff answered with there.
So yeah, we'll see what they do after the timeout.
So the Lion defense looked like at the beginning of this drive they were shutting them down and get them in the 3rd and long situation, give up the big pass play to Fusilier, and then the Cardinals have been successful with the run, moving, getting a couple more first downs. Big play right here. I mean, it's early still. We're only halfway through the first quarter, but pretty big play at this point, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 4th down and 6, like you said, it's just starting, so it's not, you obviously a lot of time left, but
it's no biggest play of the game. I mean,
yeah.
I get that, but
no, you're right. It's a big play.
As an early point, it is kind of a crucial play here to set tone for this game.
And offense back out there. McCown in the gun on a 4th down and 6. He's going to pass, looking. He's going to throw it, and
I think he caught it,
but it's short of the first down. And it's going to be a turnover on down for the Lions. And that's just not a really good route by Fusilier. You've got to know where the chains are.
Right.
And you've got to at least get to that spot.
Yeah, that's a fundamental assignment for a receiver, is know where the line to gain is and get just a little past it and then make your turn or make your cut for the pass, because you got to assume you're going to be tackled as soon as you catch the ball. If he could run after the catch on that one, he's maybe going to get it. But when you catch the ball 2 yards short and you're covered that well, it's a good hold by the defense.
Yeah, and he had to go to the ground to even catch the ball. So It's dead no matter what, because he had to go to the ground. Yeah, I don't understand that route. The Lions offense for the 2nd time.
That was just a messy play right there. Little disjointed in the backfield with the handoff, and then didn't look like Jourdain and Peace were on the same page as to where that pass was going.
2nd down and 10. Lions with a 7-0 lead, and they have 1 total yard of offense.
Only stat that matters at the end of the game is the score, right?
Right? Yeah. Doesn't matter how you get it. Peace back to pass. Got an open receiver up across the 30-yard line as McMillan makes that catch.
Leyland Stoker makes a good tackle there, because if he doesn't make that tackle, it's going to be first down Lions. So he saves that, setting up a 3rd and short here.
Peace. This time he's going to hand the ball off, and not getting the first down on that carry is Oakman. It's going to gain a yard, but it's going to bring up 4th down and 2.
Unfortunate not to get a flag there, because he moved. Oakman moved on the snap, the clap, not the snap. So he was actually in motion before the snap. Unfortunately, it didn't matter because he didn't get the first down, but fortunate not to get a flag on that. Needs to watch that, or he might end up getting flagged for that.
Because you can go in motion as long as you're not running towards the line of scrimmage, right?
Right.
I mean, if you're running or horizontal,
right, but he was leaning
move,
forward left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 4th down and 2. Punt, high punt, taken at the 37-yard line. There's a flag.
I think it's interference with the fair catch.
Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like, maybe, but we'll see what they actually call. It did look like maybe there was some kind of interference there, but we'll see what they say.
Good catch interference. Kicking team, 15-yard penalty to respond to foul. First down.
So it wasn't quite a 30-yard punt, and then you're going to give so much of it back with this penalty.
Great field position.
Credit Union One Free Checking has everything you need to bank on the go. Make deposits and more with our highly rated mobile app. And get your direct deposit up to 2 days sooner with CU1 Early Pay. Open your account in minutes at creditunion1.org.
Welcome to Casati Pines at Coshada, nestled in the natural wetlands of southwest Louisiana on 65 acres of Looking Glass Lakes, surrounded by stately pines and live oaks. It's an experience unlike any other. A challenging 18-hole par 72 championship course, 6 sets of tees, and a unique 19th tiebreaker hole. Ranked the 18th best golf course in the USA by Golf Advisor. Casati Pines at Coshada in Kinder, Louisiana. Louisiana's best bet.
Thanks for getting these sub bowls.
Of course, no problem, big bro. Let's eat.
Danny DeVito? What did you do with our uncle?
Well, that doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. What matters most are these sub bowls.
Wait, has Danny DeVito been my brother my whole life?
I guess so. Don't tell Mom. Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
Credit Union One offers everything you need to get the most out of your accounts every day. With digital banking, you can pay bills online, set up personalized budgeting tools, easily transfer money between accounts, and more. Plus, you can get paid up to 2 days sooner when you set up direct deposit. Get started at cu1.com.
.521 to play in this first quarter. Handoff after great field position because of the penalty. So the fair catch was called for. There was interference, and so they get the ball on the Lions side of the 50-yard line. It's a great field position for a Lamar team that had a good drive. This last drive just stalled out inside the 30.
That was a great run by Moore. Nice hole opened up, but he gets up with a little bit of limp and has to go off to the sideline. 2nd down and 6 for the Cardinals.
Robinson comes in back in the backfield with McCown. And McCown is going to keep it on an option. He takes a big hit as he releases the ball. It's over the head of Fusilier, but he took a big hit.
That was nice. It was a delayed blitz, that came in and just a big-time hit, disrupted that pass, and it's going to set up a 3rd and 6 here.
I'm going to keep it himself on a quarterback option. Looked like that was a design run, and he just got right back to the line of scrimmage.
It was. Number 33, Matthew Goldman, just sniffed it out right away. He gets him around legs and brings him down. Big play there by Goldman at linebacker for the Lions.
So, a great field position. The Lions defense forces a punt.
And bring Mason Stallings in for the punt.
And I get that you have quarterback draws and quarterback options, but in a situation like that, I don't know. I don't know why you don't hand it off to a running back to try and get those 6 yards if you're going to run it. And that ball hits the Lamar player on the helmet as he was trying to. Caleb Holmes is down trying to field the punt. It hits him in the helmet and bounces into the end zone for a touchback.
Great special teams play there by the Cardinals on accident, but it happened.
So far in the game, 52 total yards for Lamar, only 9 for East Texas A&M. The only score in the game, Kyrie Anderson with a fumble recovery and run back for a touchdown. 3 minutes into the game, here's a nice first down throw from Peace to
Joshua
Pickle. Yep.
That was just a great catch, too. The coverage was there. He just snagged that ball out of the air, right out of the defender's hands for a good possession catch and able to move the chains there. That was a dangerous pass by Peace.
Here's a handoff, big hole up the middle, and another first down run. This time it is KJ Schenkel on the carry.
Schenkel saw that hole on the left side, accelerated right through it, enabled him 2 back-to-back plays. The Lions moved the chains after really no success in those first 2 drives.
Ball at the 45-yard line of the Lions after those first 2 plays. Peace, the option, decides to keep it. Now he's going to run with it. A lot of room. He's going to have a first down, and he's taken down inside Cardinal territory.
Nice run by Peace, and that's something the coaching staff for the Cardinals was a little concerned about was not just his arm, his mobility. And, you know, they were more, he's only in his 3rd game back since coming off injury, but they know he is a mobile quarterback, and we see a little bit of that threat come to life right there.
There's a handoff. KJ Schenkel going to get across the 40. I'm going to say right at the 40.
That was a nice cut by Schenkel, but I thought he had the outside. I thought he was going to get it outside and maybe have a little more field to work with, but he cuts in and still gets positive yardage there. And I'm obviously not seeing what he's seeing, so maybe the angle was different than what I'm viewing from up here.
No first downs on the first 2 drives for the Lions. They already have 3 on this drive. 2nd down and 7. Peace going to fire it across, and it's in and out of the intended receiver, Harrison. Tanner Harrison had it, but it was good defense.
Yeah, that was great defense by Paul Omodia for the Cardinals on that. He just made the play to knock the ball out of his hands as it got there.
So we 3rd down and 7 for the Lions. Right inside the 40-yard line of the Cardinals on the right hash. Peace looking, he's got wide open on that far side, and down the left sideline is Proctor. Jaden Proctor is going to get inside the 25 all the way to the 24.
Jaden Proctor just running that safety valve route. He was so open. I'm sorry I said it because it was so obvious. There's nobody close. He just had to catch the ball. That's 1st down, and that's exactly what happened.
So another 1st down for the Lions on this drive. Peace. Schenkel in the backfield with him. He's going to give it to Schenkel on that far side, dancing around inside the 20. Going to be brought down around the 17. Helmet came off, so Schenkel will have to come out of the game. Inside the red zone are the Lions for the first time tonight.
So you'd said something at the start of the game I was thinking about. Right now, Lamar and East Texas A&M are tied for 3rd. The winner of this game will actually move into a 3-way tie for 1st at 2-0. The loser will be in tied for 4th place, right?
Yep. Peace.
Ooh.
Bad snap.
Ooh.
Peace able to get it back and fall on it.
There's a ball flying around. There's a hat flying off. There's just all kinds of things that aren't supposed to be flying around on that play. As the lineman's going to have to come off the field for a play because his hat came off. That's number 78, Ike Ojukwu.
Yeah, because as you Southeastern and SFA are 2-0.
And they're both idle this week.
Correct. Yeah. And another timeout taken by East Texas A&M.
We're still in the 1st quarter.
We are.
Their 2nd charge of the half.
And there have been 3 timeouts, 1 by Lamar and two by East Texas.
Yeah, with 3rd down and 7. Coach Dozell wanting to talk to his offense here.
So tell me how much both of these coaches want to win this game. This is a very big early season game for both of these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's one of those things where East Texas A&M is, you know, new to the Southland Conference. They've been, you know, this is their 4th season as members of the Division I, the Southland Conference, and have struggled the first 3 seasons, you know, and Coach Dozell's really trying to put together a program here, put together a team to draw recruits, to bring in recruits, and to, you know, to show that they can compete with the Southland Conference. They don't want to just be in the Southland Conference. They want to compete with the Southland Conference. So obviously a big game, and of course Lamar, just, you know, high hopes as well for the Southland Conference this year, trying to go 2-0. And Peace is under pressure, and he's going to get it away. There was a receiver in the area as he threw it towards Tanner Harrison.
Yeah, Christian Booker gets back there, number 97, and just blows that play up. That's heads-up play by Peace to get that ball close to a receiver in the vicinity, because that sack would have made this field goal attempt much more difficult. Difficult to make.
Yeah, Oslo Rigby on to attempt a 38-yarder.
They feel like he's got a lot of leg, let's just put it that way.
Yeah, Coach Roselle said he thinks he's good for 50.
Or more.
Yeah, exactly. He got a lot of that one, and it is good. So 7 seconds to play in this first quarter. It is a 2-score game in favor of East Texas A&M. That was a good drive by the Lions. Offense hadn't been able to do much at all. We talked about they had 1 yard going into this drive, and then they put together a 67-yard drive that ends with points.
Yeah, they would have much preferred to get the touchdown there and get the two full possession lead, but take any points you can get in this game. This was a tight game last year. We knew it probably wasn't going to be a shootout. We thought it would be a very low-score game last year. It was 29-20 was the final score, but the Commerce tied it up late in the game with a couple minutes left at 20 all. And then with 11 seconds, Lamar goes ahead with a field goal at 23-20, and they get just the junk interception at the end of the game. But this was a tight game last year, low scoring. So points are important. Every point you get is very crucial in this game. So if you got a chance to get a field goal, you take the field goal there.
Yeah, especially with the way both defenses are playing so far. I mean, as you said, we've already had one defensive score, and the Lions defense has done a really good job on this Cardinal offense and vice versa.
Might have just made the understatement of the year in sports broadcasting, saying points are important.
I wasn't going to point that out. I'm glad you saw the error of your ways. Kickoff taken inside the 5 and up to the 25-yard line. Fusilier.
This is Mason Stones with the return. Is that what they said? It was a nice return. The coverage was it broke down at the beginning of that play. They're able to close it in and get it, but that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter with East Texas A&M in control at 10, Lamar 0.
I said Fusilier, but it was 0, not 1. Lamar takes over their own 26, and a good play here. Screen pass all the way out across midfield. Coleman on the catch and run.
He hit the defender so hard, the defender's helmet came off. That collision with him and Levon Williams was brutal on that Cardinal sideline. And Williams is going to have to come out for a play because his hat came off. Second Lion to lose a helmet in this matchup so far.
28 yards on the play, and there's a pass. Fusilier.
Oh, okay, that was great coverage, and in my opinion, that shouldn't have got a flag, but that backside judge gets it. We'll see what happens here. They're going to call pass interference, but they really should wave that off, at least from this angle.
It's a great play. Great throw by McCown.
I don't know if we can get a replay, but I'd like to take just another look. But either way,
it's going to be first down. First down and 10 for the Cardinals, already inside Lion territory at the 36-yard line on the left hash. There's a deep down the sideline pass. It's caught. Are they going to say he was in bounds?
Yeah, he was in bounds. That's a great throw.
What a phenomenal pass by McCown.
Gerard.
And catch.
Jaden Gerard on the reception there, ran the perfect route. That was a beautiful play. Perfectly timed throw, dropped it right in his hands where the defender couldn't get to it. It's going to set him up with 1st and goal here.
Cardinals hurrying up to the line just in case. And McCown's going to be brought down for a loss, but they hurried up and got that going just in case the replay officials wanted to take another look at that.
Kobe Sebastian King came in and just lit up McCown on that keeper for a big-time loss.
It's going to be second down and goal from the 10-yard line for the Cardinals. Two big plays on this drive. You had that opener, the screen pass that went to Coleman, and then that big play right there to Gerard. Of course, the pass interference call as well. And here's a pitch back to
it's 43 there. LaDamian McDowell for the Cardinals. Nice gain there. And what you're seeing is this is a running team, but they said, hey, we can throw the ball when we need to. And McCown gets the ball. That little screen play, not necessarily a big-time pass, just a great run. That was a nice pass down the sideline to get him in the 1st and goal situation.
Inside, or out of their 105 yards they have so far, 98 of them have come through the air. McCown, back pass, he's under pressure. He's going to step up, keeping himself, and still on his feet. He's going to be brought down at the 4-yard line, but he's going to bring up 4th down and goal.
But what fight. McCown looked like he was down. He had 2 guys on his back that should have been bringing him down, but he just kept pushing forward, kept the hand down, and was able to fight forward for a couple of more extra yards.
So the Cardinals going to bring on the field goal unit as Ben Woodard will try a 21-yard field goal attempt.
Been pretty good inside 40.
That kick is up, and it is good. So that makes it a 1-possession game. The Cardinals are on the board after that field goal. It's 10-3 Lions. They'll get the ball when we come back after this.
House University. For over a century, we've built a legacy of excellence through hard work and determination. And today, we're shaping the future with bold ideas and bright minds. We don't just educate, we transform lives. We are East Texas A&M University.
Life can throw you curveballs.
Oh, my parents are coming over for dinner tonight.
Seriously? You could try and brave the supermarket aisles. But the mountain of laundry isn't going to fold itself. Those dirty dishes won't clean themselves. And remember that science fair project? Yeah, it's due tomorrow. Let our personal shoppers do the shopping for you. Their expertise is what sets them apart from the rest. Just convenience and simplicity, so you can get back to doing what matters most and enjoy the ease of curbside pickup at Brookshire's.
What does by your side mean? It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we will be here for you. We are taking care of family, friends, and neighbors, so we care for you like we care for our loved ones. It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we continue to invest in services, specialties, and team members to provide the trusted care which our growing community needs. Hunt Regional Healthcare, by your side.
Do you enjoy college sports? The athletes, the excitement, the competition? Protect it. Don't lose the excitement of national competition. Don't jeopardize women's sports and Olympic sports. Make sure your favorite athletes continue to enjoy the many important benefits provided to them, and ensure that we preserve and standardize name, image, and likeness rights. Tell Congress to pass the SCORE Act at passthescoreact.com.
Lions, the Cardinals put together a drive when they needed to. They went 70 yards in 6 plays, took just under 3 minutes, had to settle for a field goal, but that was a good drive for the Cardinals.
And they did it through the air. You had the big screen play to open, you had the pass interference, and you had the deep ball down the side. Back-to-back 3 plays, move them from there into the field into first and goal situation. Then they try to run, and they're not able to get in.
Yeah, Lions defense holding inside the red zone. Lions will see what they can do as that kickoff brought out by Randy Reese.
Looked like Reese might have a little bit of room on that sideline, but the Cardinals close it up quick and bring it down.
Looked like he might have hesitated too. Looked like he had a little bit of room and he kind of hesitated a little bit, and it allowed the defense to get there.
Kind of felt that way.
It'll be first down and 10 for the Lions. Cardinals with 111 yards of offense. The Lions with 68. The difference in this game is the fumble return for a touchdown for the Lions early in the first quarter. See what they can do after the drive put together by the Cardinals. There's a handoff up the middle and not much there for Oakman.
Maybe a yard, not quite. They'll stay at 2nd and 9, but
yeah.
2nd 9 and 2/3.
I was gonna say yes. Yeah. So 2nd down and 9 and 2 feet, right?
Right. That'd be accurate, yes.
Here's a pitch to Oakman again, and Oakman cuts it back up, breaks 1 tackle, but then not able to get by the rest as he gets a couple yards up to the 30. So it's going to be 3rd down and long once again for this Lions offense. And right now they're 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions.
Yeah, he ran into that backside pursuit, number 14, Andrew Huff, on the tackle. If he gets around Huff, that backside is wide open for Oakman to have some running room, but great play on defense by Huff.
Peace. Back to pass. They throw it across the middle. It's caught, and Christian Jourdain spears that out of the air. What a phenomenal play by Jourdain. I thought he overthrew Jourdain, and somehow Jourdain sticks his hands up and just...
They go quick to try to catch him and make sure they don't have a personnel change. Going to Jourdain again.
He's going to have another first down.
Jourdain, he is a possession guy for these guys, but you're right. It looked like he used the force to bring that ball back to his hand after it got past him almost.
And I said, and I apologize, I said another first down. The chains hadn't been set yet on the opposite side, and so they were still moving the chains whenever I looked over there and said he's got another first down. So obviously
Why do you think they go quick? Just to keep them in that bad personnel mix? Because I mean, it was an obvious catch. There's no review.
Yeah, I think it's part of the personnel, but also, you know, you get that defense trying to scramble back and trying to get back to the line. Yeah, I think it's definitely wasn't for replay purposes. Hand off to Oakman on that right side, pushing the line. They're going to mark him right at the sticks. That's going to be another first down for the Lions. They're inside the 40-yard line of the Cardinals.
Oakman getting it done tonight. I know there's some starters not playing tonight for the Lions. I wonder if Schenkel is a scratch for today. We haven't seen him out there yet. Well, there he is.
And passes over the head of the intended receiver, and Tyler Daniels. Yeah, Schenkel actually has 17 yards
right,
rushing.
He's out there.
Yeah.
Just rewind that and forget I said that.
Lions now over 100 yards of offense in this game. They have a little bit more rushing yards than the Cardinals. They have 33 rushing yards, but most of theirs also coming through the air.
Well, you expect that with the Lions.
He's wide open on that far side, and that's going to go to the tight end, Pickle.
Yeah, Pickle getting that catch, just a little flare to the outside there, and he catches that on that slant. And nice gain on a second down pass.
Yeah, 3rd down and 2. Ball at the 30-yard line, and per Coach Dozell, they are in Rigby field goal range if they don't get another yard here. There's a handoff to Schenkel, and they're not going to get another yard as Schenkel is going to be brought down.
Nothing there on that left side as he just ran into a wall.
So we'll see. They're going to leave the offense out on the field.
Kevin Thomas credited for that tackle by the Cardinals.
So 4th down and 3 at the 31-yard line.
Do you try to get him to jump here and maybe use
your
maybe
last
so. Out, or I feel like he'll go for it, knowing Coach Dozell. I don't think they're going to try to get him to jump, but
they are going for it. Piece wide open down the left side, and it is caught. Somehow getting free is Bilbo. And Dan Bilbo inside the 10-yard line. And he has a touchdown if he doesn't kind of stumble over his own feet.
Yeah, he had to kind of shift a little bit. He wasn't perfectly positioned for that pass coming in. So the way he shifted just kind of threw his center of gravity over. But just a beautiful catch by Bilbo to set him up with 1st and goal at the 4.
And they had to be thinking, okay, they're 4th and 3. They're probably thinking we're going to go short here, so let's take a chance over the top, and that's exactly what they did. And now they're 1st and goal. There's a handoff to Schenkel. He dances around and maybe right back to the line of scrimmage.
Schenkel, let's look at this replay first. Yeah, just a great catch there by Bilbo. Schenkel looks like a pinball doing an impression there as he just bounced off the defender and gets outside, but no gain.
So he's 2nd down and goal for the Lions. Peace pitches it forward to Christian Jourdain. Jourdain trying to get to the outside, and he's going to get to the 5. I think maybe lose a yard.
Yeah, just great pursuit on the side of the line.
This will be 3rd down.
Zaylen Stoker with a tackle there for the Cardinals, just doing exactly what you do. You push it to the edge until you can make a play. So you got to throw the ball here, right?
As I said, the Lions doing exactly what the Cardinals did. Get down into the red zone because of the pass, and then try running it several times. And we'll see what they do here on a 3rd down and goal. And they're going to hand it, and Schenkel is going to be stopped. And there's a late flag comes in. There's a helmet on the off. I think Schenkel's helmet came off. I wonder if it was ripped off.
I don't like the call. We'll see what it is.
Face mask. Defense number 9.
It's an automatic 1st down, so
So the Cardinals bail out the play call in that sequence. Going to give them a fresh set of downs in there. Are we going to see 3 more runs?
I don't know. I didn't like it on the Cardinals' end. You got down there by passing the ball, then you got 3 straight runs. It doesn't work. And the Lions did the same thing. You get down there because of the pass.
Well, I mean, the Cardinals are known as a running team that can throw the ball when they need to. The Lions are a team that throws the ball that'll try to run when they need to. So just to me, you play to your strength.
So we first down and goal. And here's a keeper by Peace, and he's going to be dropped at the 1.5 yard line.
Another flag if they're not careful over there. A couple of players going at it. Nowhere near the play. You got to play up the middle, and you got a receiver in a corner on the edge of the field that are going to get in a fight.
I do like that the officials just kind of went in there, broke it up. No flags. It didn't affect the play. There was no punches thrown. Let's just break it up.
Right.
He's going to keep it again, and he is not going to get there as he's going to be dropped for a yard loss back to the 2.5.
So that's 5 runs in a row. This started at the 4-yard line. So they had 3 runs in a row, got that face mask penalty to reset the downs on 3rd down. And now we've seen 2 more runs. And they've got 2 yards net out of it. So that's with a penalty, and that was the penalty. That was half the distance to the goal. So I'm going to lose my mind if they don't pass the ball here.
3rd and goal.
Or score. If they score, that erases all my frustration right now.
And there's a pass that is blocked. That was a great defensive play by the Cardinals, as coming on that outside was Beeman.
Yeah, that was just heads up. He gets his hands up just in time, not fooled by the play. They saw it all the way on defense. A great defensive sequence really on both ends. Both defenses give up big plays, allow the offense to get down the field. Both defenses hold when it counts and force a field goal attempt. Cardinals successful on theirs. We'll see what happens for the Lions.
Kelvin Beeman with that blocked punt. Kick is line drive, and it's through. And it is back to a 2-possession game. Lions up 13-3. We'll be back right after this from Commerce. They went 70 yards, 16 plays, and they took almost 8 minutes off the clock in doing so, and they're back up by 10, 13-3.
About 6 of them were inside the 5-yard line. No, I'm just
yeah, no, you're right. It was excruciating, and we were just talking about that, how both teams, like inside the 10-yard line.
Right. In case you didn't know, I asked for a direct line to both offensive coordinators to ask the question, why do you run it that much inside the 5-yard line? But I was not granted that request.
Kick will be a touchback, and the Cardinals will take over. We're going to step aside. We'll be back right after this from Commerce.
In the heart of East Texas, there's a powerhouse university. For over a century, we've built a legacy of excellence through hard work and determination. And today, we're shaping the future with bold ideas and bright minds. We don't just educate, we transform lives. We are East Texas A&M University.
Life can throw you curveballs.
Oh, my parents are coming over for dinner tonight.
Seriously? You could try and brave the supermarket aisles, but the mountain of laundry isn't going to fold itself. Those dirty dishes won't clean themselves. And remember that science fair project? Yeah, it's due tomorrow. Let our personal shoppers do the shopping for you. Their expertise is what sets them apart from the rest. Just convenience and simplicity, so you can get back to doing what matters most and enjoy the ease of curbside pickup at Brookshire's.
What does by your side mean? It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we will be here for you. We are taking care of family, friends, and neighbors, so we care for you like we care for our loved ones. It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we continue to invest in services, specialties, and team members to provide the trusted care which our growing community needs. Hunt Regional Healthcare, by your side.
Cardinals take over at their own 25-yard line, trailing 13-3. McCown, a lot of room, steps up. He's got a receiver and just underthrows him.
Yeah.
As there's a lot of room.
He had a lot of time, and then the pocket began to collapse a little bit. Gets a little happy feet and comes out. And, yeah, he just short-armed that one, and it's a one-hopper into the receiver.
Yeah, Isaiah Jones was wide open, worked himself open, and had a chance up near midfield. But
I feel like we haven't seen what kind of speed McCown has, but there was some field in front of him. If he just takes off there, probably going to get close to a first down, if not more.
As it is, it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Cardinals. And we're going to have a timeout taken by the Cardinals. It'll be their second timeout of the half.
This might be the most timeouts taken before 2 minutes left in the half in a game. This is it's going to be the 4th timeout.
It's the 3rd season for Pete Osamondo, head coach of Lamar. He's 17-11 there at Lamar. Overall, 84-60 in his 13 seasons as a head coach.
And they're looking, they've won 4 in a row. They're looking to win 5 in a row. You know the last time they did that? 2018. You know what else was the last thing they did in 2018? Was their last appearance in the playoffs.
There we go.
They're looking back to that season, and there's a lot of similarities to that 18 team and what they're seeing here. So definitely trying to build some momentum in conference play by continuing that win streak.
Well, the FCS coaches poll, they are come in 24th this week, and they're 20th in the Stats FCS poll. A nice run on that left side.
Actually, technically a pass because he flipped it forward on that jet sweep to kid in Fusilier who uses his speed to get some nice yards there on second down.
This will be third down and 4.5 for the Cardinals, trying to keep the drive alive and not give the ball back to the Lions here late in the half. Back to pass. Going over the top on that far side, and it's caught. What a great play that was by wide receiver Isaiah Jones.
Jones played it perfectly. That's just a go pattern on that sideline. That's a perfect pass. The coverage was there. That was just a tremendous catch.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal throw.
Jones fought through the defense and was able to bring that one down.
First down and 10 inside Lions territory, setting up a screen pass, and is going to be enough for another first down as Joshua Robinson makes the catch.
Yeah, Lions bid on that. It didn't develop right away, but the quarterback had to did a little pump fake to McCown, trying to delay the defense just enough, and it works.
So first down and 10 inside the 35-yard line of the Lions. Just under 3 minutes left in the half. McCown across the middle, and another catch made, and that should be another first down up to the 20.
Kind of get the feel in the second quarter that the Cardinals coaching staff has said, you know what, we're not running against them. Let's just open it up, because they used that last drive, used the pass, 3 big plays to get down the field. Now they're chewing up smaller chunks for the most part, but they're getting down the field with the pass.
Fusilier with that catch. And you talk about, as we're going to have
the previous play.
A review.
Further review for a possible targeting call.
Yeah, I was wondering about that on that hit on Fusilier. Kind of like looked like maybe a helmet-to-helmet situation, and they are going to look at targeting. What I was going to say, though, before that, McCown is 10 of 13. His completion percentage right now, 77% in this game, and he's not just throwing short passes. He's throwing it down the field, and that's a phenomenal completion percentage.
It really is. When you look at the whole season, he's played 5 games. He's got 460 yards passing, so he's averaging less than 100 yards a game if you look at that. So to go for $153 here in the first half, you know, that's pretty big play for him on the passing side here.
As you see the replay there.
Yeah.
We'll see. And it's hard to, because it's not helmet to helmet necessarily. It's leading with the crown of the helmet. And if you lead with the crown of the helmet, and if you saw that replay, it kind of looked like he turned his helmet and he got him with the shoulder. At live, it looked like maybe it was helmet to helmet, like he led with it. But if you saw that replay, it kind of looked like maybe he turned at the last second and got him with the shoulder.
And the officials agree with you, because they said there was no targeting on the review. So we're going to get back to the action with this first and 10.
So ball right at the 20-yard line. McCown 153 yards in this first half. Back to pass again, looking lots of time, rolling out. He's going to keep it himself and get out of bounds right at the 15-yard line.
McCown showing the wheels that when you need them there, just nobody there. Good coverage downfield. And when that field starts compacting as you get close to the end zone, it makes the job a little more challenging for the receiver to try to get open. So they just force him to run, and he gets a nice gain to get out of bounds.
That takes us to the 2-minute timeout. We'll be right back from Commerce. the red zone at the 15-yard line of the Lions, trailing by 10. Back to pass, McCown looking, and he's going to be brought down. It's kind of a coverage sack right there.
Yeah, the pocket just collapsed around him. You got number 12 coming in to make that tackle. Anthony. Great.
Got timeout taken.
Greg, if you told me coming into this game that in the first half we're going to have a quarterback that's 10 for 13 for 153 yards, I would have thought, yep, and his name is Ron Peace.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, Aiden McCown getting it done.
and his 10 completions, 7 different receivers have caught a pass in this game. I mean, he's throwing it around. He's not just targeting just one particular receiver. 7 different receivers have caught a pass from him in this first half.
And that goes to the reads, either his reads on the field or the coaching staff's reads of the defense, knowing what's going to be open in that particular defensive scheme. Either way, it's the reads, and I want to say it's probably McCown doing that and doing a tremendous job at the quarterback when the run has been pretty much shut down.
And Fusilier has 4 catches, the other 6 all won.
This is usually a balanced team. They've gotten 14 yards rushing.
Yeah,
that's it. And they've got 153 passing. Very, very imbalanced, but it's working for them right now.
And right now they have the ball 3rd down and 9 after the sack. Count. Back to pass. Going to throw it. He's got
his little design screen.
Yeah, screen pass open, but a great open field tackle as Bowden made the catch, but then immediately dropped.
Orion Koopa with that just sniffed it out, and it could have probably been a holding call as it looked like the left tackle brought the edge guy down with his jersey. A lot of folks thought they saw that with no flag, but it's still a big tackle there. And we're going to have a 37-yard field goal attempt here.
Ben Woodard to try and make this a 1-possession game once again. Kick is long enough, but no good, wide right. And so the Lions defense once again with the stop.
May have jinxed Woodard. He's been pretty much near perfect inside 40, that one at 37, but just carries on him a little bit and unable to convert after a really nice drive by the Cardinals.
So Lions will take over with just over a minute to play in the half. Clint Dozell taking his last time out right before that 3rd down play to try and preserve some clock for his offense. His offense will take over at the 20-yard line. See if they can get into field goal range for Oslo Rigby. We've seen him hit some big passes already in this game. He's 10 of 16, 104 yards. Here's a keeper by Peace on that left side. He gets behind a blocker, gets across the 35, a gain of 16, and a first down.
Great read by Peace. He saw how the defense had shifted over and knew that, well, felt like that lane was going to be open. He's able to get out there and get a nice gain for a first down for the Lions.
Empty backfield for Peace. Clock running. Peace back to pass. Deep down the middle, and it's up in the air, and it's caught. What a catch, as going up in the air and tipping the ball to himself and coming down with it was Devin Matthews.
Devin Matthews, a big play receiver here for the Lions. He's at 14 for 324 in the season, and a huge catch right there for the Lions, man. That looked like the tip, I thought, oh, he's not going to catch it, and he's able to catch it on the rebound. So Peace is going to ground that ball to stop the clock. So it's going to be 2nd and 10. Hopefully we'll take another look at that catch.
Yeah, let's go back and look at that. As you see him, it's over his head. He just tips it up. And as he's coming down, what concentration that was by Matthews to catch that ball.
In the air and then hold it through the impact. Just tremendous catch.
Tremendous. 2nd down and 10 after the spike by Peace. There's a screen pass, and across the 30, getting out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Ilkman on that reception.
So they are within the range now for Rigby if they need to try to kick a field goal, but you probably want more here of your Coach Dalzell and his staff. You got 29 seconds. If you can get a first down here, why not? Why not try to put 6 on them or 7 on the board instead of just 3?
Yeah, right now this would be about a 44-yarder for Rigby. He's back to pass, third down, wide open at the 20-yard line, sprinting, trying to get out of bounds and not able to, going to be brought down at the 14-yard line.
So the clock will stop with the move of the chains. They're going to have to get up and spike the ball, try to preserve some clock here.
Look at those Jourdain on the catch. The piece is going to spike it with 15 seconds on the clock. So you've got a couple of shots if you want to try and get to the end zone.
It looked like he first thought he was going to be able to run it for yards. Then he, during his run, he goes, wait, I need to get out of bounds. And he started trying to make his way over to the sideline. It was just, everything was contained by that defense to keep it on the interior of the field.
And it was Devin Matthews on that catch as well. Peace, 153 yards. McCown, 152 yards. Peace back to pass. Caught by Christian Jourdain, and he gets out of bounds. Dives for the out of bounds, and they're going to mark it at the 9-yard line and stop the clock. So it'll be third down and 5.
He was stalked by Ronnie Herrick, and it almost looked like his knee came down in bounds, but he gets the official calls it out to stop the clock.
Peace. Under pressure, throws it over the head of the intended receiver. Christian Jourdain, the intended receiver. It's going to be incomplete. So Rigby will come out and attempt a field goal. Try and make this a 13-point game. It's going to be a 26-yarder for Rigby. Kick is up, and it is good. What a swing of events, because you have a field goal on one end by the Cardinals that is wide right off the foot of Ben Woodard. The Lions get the ball back, march down the field, and instead of it being a 7-point game, now it's a 13-point game.
Yeah, the Cardinals were driving down the field. They get the kickoff coming out of the half, right? Because they deferred, and they're taking the second half kick. So on that drive, if they can get points, they're looking at a make-it-take-it situation where they score before the end of the half and then coming out of the half, which is a huge advantage, and why teams elect to defer to the second half. But instead, with that missed field goal, that's huge. And then like you just described with A&M Commerce, East Texas A&M, able to get down the field, it's a total swing. It's not just a 3-point swing, it's really a 6-point swing.
6-point swing, yeah, absolutely. So it is 16-3, 3 seconds. I would imagine a squib kick here.
That's what I would do, but I'm not a coach.
Lions with 207 total yards here in this first half of play. 159 in the air, 48 on the ground. Cardinals 166 with 152 coming through the air.
Kicks it deep.
That is going to be a touchback. Cardinals take over at the 25-yard line.
So do you kneel it and go into the locker room for halftime, or do you just go ahead and take a shot?
3 seconds. I would take a shot if I was me, because you could get a pass interference. It can't end on a defensive penalty. The quarter can't, so you could have something like that happen, but it looks like maybe they're going to just line up in the kneel down formation and go to the half.
Yeah, shaping up that way.
But I would have probably gone for a shot.
I would have too.
But that's the half, as the Lions lead 16-3 as they looking to win their first game against Lamar in over 50 years.
To Memorial Stadium, where at halftime it is 16-3. East Texas A&M leads Lamar University. And Greg, how's this game shaped up so far?
Well, you know, it's a lot what we expected from East Texas A&M. A lot of passing, like we see them do most of the year. They got 159 of their 207 yards in the air. With only 48 rushing yards. That's on pace for what we kind of seen from this Lions team most of the year, and especially under Coach Dozell. He was a quarterback in the Arena League. He was a quarterback, so he likes to pass. He likes that type of game, and that's what this offense is known for. But on the other side, totally different game from what we're used to from Lamar. We're used to seeing more of a running type attack, a balanced attack like you talked about, and they only have 11 yards on the ground. That's due a lot to the defense of the Lions, and the Lions shutting down that running attack.
Yeah, 16 rushes, 11 yards. The leading rusher is Robinson with 7 yards, and definitely used to getting more yards than that. But on offense, like you said, McCown looks like he's playing arena football here in these last few drives, just slinging the rock all over the field.
Yeah, they're averaging 134 yards per game on the ground, Lamar is, and they have 11 at halftime.
Right, so, I mean, you got to wonder, what they're in the locker room at the half. I mean, are you going to say, hey, we're going to commit and go back and we're going to run the ball because that's Lamar football? Or, do they do what they did in the second quarter, which there were two different offenses. First quarter, they're trying to run the ball. They had a little success moving on one drive, but really just no success at all other than just that second drive, I think, went for about 30 yards with that big pass play on 3rd and 17, the key play there. But after that, in the second quarter, it's like they flipped the switch and said, you know what, forget the run game. We're going to start throwing the ball downfield. And it worked for them. They got themselves a score. They got themselves a scoring position a second time, and they've been able to move the ball a little more effectively. So it'll be interesting to see what adjustments they make and how they come out in the second half.
Yeah, Lions, we talked about, the 16-3 and really flipping it there at the end. Coach Dozell calling the timeout on that third down play for Lamar. They don't convert. They attempt a long field goal, unable to get it to go. It's wide right. Lions take over with no timeouts. A couple of phenomenal catches by Devin Matthews on that drive, especially the one where he tips it to himself, falls down, catches it. They get inside in field goal position, and they're able to kick a field goal. And so instead of it being a 7-point game at half, it's a 13-point game.
Yeah, we've heard Coach Dalzell in a couple of different games saying, we lost all three phases of the game. But right now, if you think about this half anyway, they're winning all the phases. They're winning on offense, they're winning on defense with a score, and they're winning on special teams. So they're doing everything they need to do from their perspective to be successful, and it's showing on the scoreboard. But the great thing about football is there's a whole other half to play, and we know halftime adjustments are huge in any league. So this is something to look forward to coming out, because I don't think we've seen the last of Lamar. I don't think they're just going to hang it up and say, you know what, we're not going to win this game. We're just going to get to the second half. So it'd be interesting to see the adjustments made by Coach Rosamondo and his staff.
Of course, they get the ball coming out of the third, so we'll see. We got some highlights from this first half we're going to get to. As you see, the first one, the fumble recovery touchdown that really set the pace for this defense for the Lions.
Yeah, Anderson with a big strip and scoop and score, doing it all after the stop. And then nice pass play there across the middle to Christian Jourdain. And then that pass to Bilbo on that great reception. That was just a beautiful pass right there by McCown.
And, of course, the Matthews pass right there we were just talking about, where he tipped it to himself. Phenomenal play, and just a great set of highlights that we saw there. But kudos also to the Lamar defense. The Lions got down inside the red zone. Came away with had to be settled for field goals, and otherwise this game could really be a lot further than just a 13-point game.
Well, you had the same situation where the three that they did get, because they were inside, they passed the ball and get inside the 10, and then 3 running plays later, they're kicking a field goal, which is their only points on the board so far.
It's halftime here in Commerce. It is 16-3. We will take another break and come back and 18-3 at the half. We'll be back from Commerce with the third quarter right after this. To start the third quarter. Cardinals deferred to the second half. Cardinals offense trailing by 13. See what they locked in at halftime.
You know, I love to see the halftime adjustments. We've talked a lot about it over the years as we broadcasted together about the first 5 minutes of that second half. And this is really a close game. It seems a little lopsided, but it's not. It's a two-score game, very much a game anybody could win from here. And if the Cardinals can get this ball and get down the field and put a drive together that ends in points, with, especially with a touchdown, it's a ball game right then and there, right? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments made on the offensive side of the ball for the Cardinals.
Right, when you think about it, the only touchdown in the game has come from the defensive side.
You're right.
So neither offense has been able to find the end zone. So third quarter is underway. And it'll be a touchback. Ball will be at the 25-yard line. That's where the Cardinals will start here in the second half. Greg Higgins and Adam Routon here in Commerce, Texas.
Lamar University down in Beaumont. Pretty long trip, you know, to get here in East Texas. Still in East Texas, but just way south. But a lot of red shirts around in the stadiums. A lot of the players for Lamar hail from the Dallas-Fort Worth and the East Texas region. So a lot of their families, even though they go to school and play for Lamar University, a lot of the families are somewhat local to Commerce, relatively speaking.
First play in this third quarter is a handoff, and just like the first half, it goes nowhere. Coleman is tackled for a 3-yard loss.
NCAA Williams in the backfield, and that's going to take him down to 8 yards rushing on the night. Just great pursuit there by Williams.
Both these teams 1-0 in the Southland Conference. Trying to move into a first place tie and a flag.
But he moved?
I'm assuming since they called it before the snap. And, yep.
Yeah, there were still 10 seconds left on the play clock. So Cardinals hurting themselves there.
Second down and 18.
And 5 more, yeah.
That is the third penalty of the game for the Cardinals. That play gets about 9 yards. It's going to bring up third down.
Little wide receiver screen to Isaiah Jones on that left side, and gets it back to at least a little bit more. Still a long way, 3rd and 9. Yeah.
Ball spotted at the 26-yard line. Got to get to the 35. Another screen pass set up, and that's a first down across the 40-yard line. That was a great play, catch. That was Blake Thomas on the reception and the run.
The blocking over there really set that up. As he got that ball, the blockers he had in front created a running lane, gave him a lot of room to get that first down.
McCown fires it across the middle, and that is caught by Fusilier.
Fusilier gets that, and if he doesn't have to go off balance to kind of climb up and get it, it's a foot race at that point, and he's pretty good at those, but still a nice play action and pass by McCown there.
Second down 18 turned into first down and 10 inside Lion territory pretty quick. The ball is inside the 40 now at the 37, second down and 7.
And this is what you want to see if you're the Cardinals, but you have to finish the drive. They had a first quarter drive, get down to about the 35, 30-yard line, but it stalled out. So counting that, they've had 3 drives in what could be considered scoring position and only 3 points to show for it.
Cowan in the gun again. There's a handoff bouncing around, and that's going to be another first down play for Major Bowden.
It's a nice run by Bowden to move the chains. It just went right up the heart of the defense there. Just kind of slanting right through there between the guard and the center.
Another handoff to Bowden on the option play, and he's upended after a 4-yard gain to the 25.
That was a nice tackle, but still a big hole there that gives him a chance to get about 4 yards on that play, as you just see them in the last 2 plays having a whole lot more room in the interior than they've had all night up until now.
Second down and 6, opening drive of this third quarter. McCown, ball's on the ground, he picks it up, and he's just going to run for it, and he's going to have enough for the first down and get pushed out of bounds across the 20.
Showing off his athletic skills, must have run the hurdles in high school. He's able to leap over the sign and preserve it to avoid that collision.
They're going to say he stepped out of bounds right at the 20. So it'll be 3rd down and 1.
It was a great reaction by McCown as the bad snap to start, the pocket was collapsing. He gets outside on that left side and makes something out of nothing to give him life here in a 3rd and short.
Cardinals with more rushing yards on this drive than they had the entire first half. 17 on this drive.
And they started with a -3.
Yeah.
And now they hurt themselves again. And 3rd and 1 is going to go to 3rd and 6 because of the penalty.
That'll be the 4th penalty of the game for the Cardinals.
You know, Coach Rossimondo and his staff, that's got to be just very, very frustrating. You're this deep in the season, and you just can't have those type of mistakes in a big-time game, in a big moment like this.
22 penalty yards for the Cardinals. McCown changing the play, or getting the play from the sideline, now
2,
changing it.
1.
Barely gets it off in time. Going to go deep to the sideline, and I almost caught. Good breakup. Looked like he was looking for Fusilier.
A nice pass and just broken up at the last minute by.
So it's going to be 4th down, and they're going to bring on the field goal unit to try 42-yard field goal.
Credit to Javon Gillespie with that break of that pass. It was a great play on defense. This would be, I think, his long for the season if he makes it.
Plenty of leg, and it is good right down the middle. So back to a 10-point game, 16-6. 9:53 to play in the 3rd quarter. Lions will get the ball for the first time in the second half when we come back.
Of the year. He was perfect coming into tonight. He's 2 for 3 on tonight, but it's long before that one was 30. Woodard played his high school ball in Plano East.
Not too far from here.
Not too far from here.
That drive was 10 plays, 50 yards. But the problem, Adam, once again, settling for a field goal, and This kick brought out by the Lions. And if you keep settling for field goals, you have to basically have 4 more possessions, and you have to limit the Lions to not scoring anymore. Eventually, you would think the Cardinals are going to have to try and get in the end zone.
You would. They're going to have to. I mean, I guess you could get 4 more field goals, and if your defense is perfect, you can still win this game. But you don't want it to become a soccer match. You need to get in the end zone. Neither offense having any luck tonight. I think the first one that finds the end zone may be the team that ends up winning this game.
There's the ball on the ground. Peace picks it up, and they're going to say it's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Cardinals.
Score.
And we have a defensive touchdown.
Wow.
Peace, I think, thought he was trying to throw it, but I think it slipped out of his hands and picked up by the Cardinals.
So that stands. We have our second scoop and score of the night. This is going to be the Cardinals this time, and sure it's going to be reviewed, but you'll see Peace is under, well, he just misses snap. It goes between his legs, and he's scrambling. He kind of just looks like he's trying to throw it, but doesn't. Picked up by the lineman, and he's going to run it in. Is that number 1?
That was a phenomenal play for the Cardinals. I believe that was Peyton Christian, wasn't it?
Christensen? I don't know. We got to get a number on that. But that's going to stand, and with the point after attempt, Ben Woodard in.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So we now have a 16-13 score, and both defenses have scored on a fumble recovery touchdown.
As they would say, we have a ball game now. The defense, I was just talking about, the first offensive finds the end zone may win this game, but maybe the second defense to find it is the one that does it, because both defenses getting the forced turnover, the scoop and score, that one a little shorter, but it doesn't matter. It still counts for 6 points, and we'll see.
Peyton Christian got he forced the fumble, just like the Lions. He forced the fumble, and he got the scoop and score.
Man, when you're a nose guard out there, you never expect that. I hope they let him keep that ball, because you never expect to be able to score. For him to be able to scoop that up, good thing it wasn't a long run. It was only about 5-6 yards, it wasn't that long, because I don't know if he'd had the gas to get too much further, but he gets in. A nice score for the Cardinals.
So the first quarter, Kyrie Anderson forced a fumble, picked it up, and ran it in 29 yards. This one is credited for an 11-yard touchdown run for Peyton Christian after he forced the fumble. And we have a defensive battle.
Yes, we do.
16-13 Lions. Will take over at their own 16-yard line, maybe 17.
And they are fired up. They got down there quick. That was a big-time hit on the tackle.
That was so both teams losing a fumble, and it turns into 7 points.
That was Jamonda Whidbey, number 7 for the Cardinals, with a tackle on the kickoff.
We'll see how fired up this Cardinal defense is after that score.
Man, there's nothing like in the defensive score.
Sometimes that's what you need to jumpstart the offense. Here's a handoff on the first play, and a gain of a couple up to the 19-yard line. Schenkel gets that carry.
Positive yards there, and just being a real conservative here. You've had a couple of issues with the snap. That one ends up in a turnover and points for the Cardinals. So being a little conservative on that first call. Let's see if they open it up here at any point.
Schenkel still in the backfield. He's going to go out. Peace back to pass. He's got a lot of room on this near side. He's going to run. He's going to have the first down as he gets across the 25 out to the 28-yard line.
And this is where, if you're a good math teacher and you want to prove that geometry is important and you will use it, Peace was able to calculate that. He had the angle and the acceleration to be able to get to that sideline and get the first down before the defender closed. And that was all geometry if you can teach it that way.
The quickest point between, or distance between 2 points is a straight line, right?
You're messing it up.
Across the 30 for Schenkel to the 31. Second down.
That's the last time I'm going to talk about geometry on any broadcast ever.
Second down, 7.
It's when you start getting into the trigonometry that we start losing people.
I think we get to calculus.
Second down and 7 for the Lions. Their second possession of this third quarter. There's a pass. Christian Jourdain catches it up near the 45. They're going to say he's down at the 43.
Jourdain, leading receiver in receptions. He's just a possession catcher. He runs that slant, loses 2 yards on the tackle for some reason.
There's a handoff, a nice move, and then a hurdle by Schenkel at the 40. It gets taken out of bounds inside the 35.
Schenkel slowed down to try to make a move, and number 14, Andrew Huff's able to catch him from behind. But a nice run by Schenkel there. So Lions into Cardinal territory here on their second drive, or second possession of the second half here.
Ball at the 33-yard line. Gain of 23 on that run.
Oh, he's wide open.
He's going to throw it. He's got a receiver inside the 10-yard line. And what a great catch that was by Tyler Daniels.
I don't know how Daniels found the hole of the defense, but he just snuck down into the middle of the defense. It was so soft there. He was so wide open. Sorry I spoke when you were calling the play, but couldn't help myself. It's like you just got to get the ball to him, and because he is so wide open, and Peace is able to do it.
First down and goal for the Lions. That offense trying to get in the end zone for the first time, and Peace just throws it out of the back of the end zone, nobody open.
Yeah, there was a lot of Cardinals over in that corner of the end zone. He was looking to go over there, looks like to number 81, but that wasn't there for him, so he wisely throws it away. 81's Preston Kilgore for the Lions.
Second down and goal. Offense looking for the first touchdown by an offensive player in the game here in the third quarter. Peace going to keep it, dancing around, fighting, going forward, and he's in the end zone for a touchdown, and there it is.
Yeah,
Ron Peace decided to do it himself.
100% Ron Peace. The pressure came in. He's lucky he didn't get sacked for a loss. He's able to evade the defender, gets inside, bounces, and then gets contact around the one, but fights through the tackle, extends the ball for a Lions touchdown. That's first offensive touchdown almost halfway through the third quarter. It's just an incredibly tough defensive matchup here.
Over halfway through the third quarter.
Correct. I'm still thinking high school.
You are.
Which I did last night.
8 plays, 83 yards, and 3:06. And this kick is up and good, making it a 10-point game. Lions back on top, 23-13. We're back. Cardinals getting the ball from Commerce.
In the heart of East Texas, there's a powerhouse university. For over a century, we've built a legacy of excellence through hard work and determination. And today, we're shaping the future with bold ideas and bright minds. We don't just educate, we transform lives. We are East Texas A&M University.
Life can throw you curveballs.
Oh, my parents are coming over for dinner tonight.
Seriously? You could try and brave the supermarket aisles, but the mountain of laundry isn't going to fold itself. Those dirty dishes won't clean themselves. And remember that science fair project? Yeah, it's due tomorrow. Let our personal shoppers do the shopping for you. Their expertise is what sets them apart from the rest. Just convenience and simplicity, so you can get back to doing what matters most and enjoy the ease of curbside pickup at Brookshire's.
What does by your side mean? It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we will be here for you. We are taking care of family, friends, and neighbors, so we care for you like we care for our loved ones. It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we continue to invest in services, specialties, and team members to provide the trusted care which our growing community needs. Hunt Regional Healthcare, by your side.
It took over 2.5 quarters, but we finally got our first offensive touchdown of the game. Both teams getting a defensive touchdown, and then the Lions offense going 83 yards. Ron Peace with a touchdown run. Lions back up by 10, 23-13. This kick from Rigby into the end zone for another touchback.
Every one of them tonight for Rigby.
The Cardinals will start at the 25.
So Cardinals with a drive, got down the field, got 3 points. See if they can put another drive here to get down and maybe match what the Lions did by getting in the end zone. See if the defensive score inspires and ignites the offense like you brought up.
And you also feel like with the Lions offense kind of getting a little bit of momentum there that the Cardinals are going to need to try and keep pace. Down by double figures. Here's a shot down the near side and incomplete. And there's a flag that comes in way away from the back judge. The intended receiver was Isaiah Jones.
There was a lot of hands go both ways. I think that should be a no call. Obviously not agreed with by the officiating crew. Just a lot of contact both ways. There was contact. You can't argue that. I mean,
and I think what Coach Dozell and his staff are complaining about is the official right next to the play didn't throw the flag.
Right.
It came from 30 yards away.
Yeah, I don't agree with that call, but it's consistent with the earlier call.
So 15-yard penalty gives the Cardinals a first down at the 40. Handoff, and once again, not much room on that line. Dow gets tackled after a 1-yard gain.
Keelan Lamar with backside pursuit, number 97, just came up, just showing tremendous speed. Ran him down from behind to make that tackle.
There's 29 yards on the ground for the Cardinals. Second down and 9. There's a pass over the top, and there's another flag comes in from the same official. That ball was way over the head, and
that back judge really shouldn't be throwing that flag.
The ball was way overthrown, but we'll see what
happens here on the replay. They're going to call a pass interference on this one, and home crowd not liking it. And I have to agree with him, Greg. I don't think that's the right call on that one. And it's been the same official throwing the flag on 3 different occasions.
Yeah, and there again, I think Coach Dozell is once again mad that you've got the near side official is not throwing that flag. But either way, it's another pass interference penalty. So 30 yards given to the Cardinals on penalties. There's a handoff, nice little run there by the Cardinals.
Joshua Robinson going up the middle, nice run, good blocking there on the interior.
Second down and 6.
And have we seen more back since he went off when he was shaken up? I don't know that I've heard his name or actually seen his number.
I haven't seen him, but
he had a nice run there in the second quarter that been limped off the field, and I think he's been out since then.
Back to pass, McCown under pressure. He's going to throw it, and it is incomplete. Good coverage there for the Lions. It was intended for Isaiah Jones.
Josh Wiggins defends it to knock it down.
Third down and 6. Cardinals with the ball, the Lions side of the field at the 42. They got to get to the 36 for a first down. McCown. 14 of 19 on the night. Sends a man in motion.
Blitz coming.
Going to throw a screen pass, runs into his own player, fights through a tackle, but is not going to get it. As Bowden spun around after catching it and wound up hitting his own blocker.
Yeah, it was a great fight by Major Bowden to stay up. He ran into his own guy, spins off of it, gets hit, spins off of it, keeps fighting, and he sets him up for the 4th and short, and the Cardinals are going for it here.
Of course, they've got the Lions to jump and get a first down, and they just did it again. And free play.
And they're probably going to get a flag.
They're going to get a pass interference there, 2 of flags. So
that is pass interference.
Yeah, absolutely. So they've got a penalty for offsides. It was a free play and then a pass interference. And that's going to be the 3rd pass interference penalty on the Lions on this drive.
Well, that's the only one I agree with, and that was absolutely, it was a back shoulder pass. The receiver tries to come back. The defender never looks back, runs through him, and that is pass interference.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
This will be a 15-yard penalty.
That penalty declined. Pass interference, number 9. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, first down.
So hometown crowd is not appreciating the penalties on this drive, but there's no arguing that one.
Now, Wiggins was in coverage, and he gets called for it, and it's the right call. I think there may be some frustration from the earlier calls, which were questionable at best, but that one definitely was pass interference.
Here's a handoff up the middle. Robinson is going to get inside the 20 into the red zone at the 17-yard line. A gain of 7. Nice run there by Robinson.
And this is where they've got to be successful in getting this one in. They're in the red zone, 2nd and 3. Got to get some points here.
Another handoff. Robinson, a big hole on that left side. He's going to have the first down up to the 12-yard line.
I mean, you have to score points of some sort here. Just a field goal gets you within a touchdown still. But, you know, this offense, they've got to get into the end zone.
Especially this late in the 3rd quarter. You're not sure how many more possessions you may get. First down and 10 for the Cardinals. There's a rollout by McCown. He's going to slip, and he's going to lose yardage back to the 14.
There was good coverage on the side, and when you roll to one side, you cut off half of the field that you can't really play to. So everything on this right side of the field was covered up. He almost fell down making a little bit of a juke move, and he gets tackled for a loss, so technically a sack. Let's set up 2nd and 12 here. Ball's on the 14-yard line.
They could get a first down without getting into the end zone at the 2. Trying to answer the touchdown drive of the Lions. And we're going to have a timeout taken by the Cardinals. It'll be their first of the half. 2:23 to play in the 3rd quarter. And trying to match the touchdown drive. And you know, the defense for the Lions frustrated right now, but they've got to put that past them. They've got to get past that, and they've got to lock down. The Cardinals, meanwhile, they need to take some of this momentum that they've had on this drive and get into the end zone.
Right. Both defenses have been doing a fabulous job. As the offenses have got into scoring position, the defenses have locked down, and the East Texas A&M offense finally able to break through that on their last possession, and it was tough. It was Peace on a 3rd down, having to fight through and extend the ball over to get it there. These are very stingy defenses. Now, the Cardinals need to answer that. They need to go up against this very stingy defense that's been a good flex defense defense. It's a loud movement between the 20s, but once you get inside the 20, they've clamped down. So this is a battle of wills. Is this offensive unit going to perform and get themselves into the end zone, or is this defense going to hold and force them for another field goal attempt, which, you know, that's their goal. So that's a great thing about it. We're going to find out over the course of the next few plays what happens here.
It's going to be second down and 12 coming out of the timeout. McCown under pressure, and he's just going to throw it out of bounds as he was getting hit.
It hits lane 2 on the track.
And that is going to bring up third down and 12.
Clarification that it was not intentional grounding. There was a receiver on the sideline, so certainly was not intentional grounding.
Yeah, and I don't think he meant to throw it as far as he did. I think his hand got hit or kind of bit by that defender.
There was a lot of pressure on him. I didn't see if contact was made, but the receiver package comes in, tight end goes to the bench for the Cardinals. They're looking to get that first down or score right here.
Third down and 12. McCown going to hand the ball off, and a big hit and not going very far as Major Bowden.
Yeah, Bowden ran right in to the defender there, Caleb Miles, and Miles brings him down, but then it was a helmet-to-helmet hit. He goes down the sideline and going to have an injury timeout here.
Yeah, the Lions player down. Fourth down and 11. So you'd imagine that the Cardinals are going to kick the get 3 points to put it within a 7-point game. But you got to think that kind of plays into the Lions' favor. There again, another stop by this defense inside the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Dan Campbell, you're going to go for it here, but I think the right thing to do is to take the points, put yourself in a touchdown. I think in that play, if that play gets them down to where it's 4th and 4, 4th and 3, 4th and 5, somewhere in that range, we might see them gamble and go for it to try to just get across and get in that end zone. But it was stuffed with just basically a yard. That's going to be 4th and 11 here. So they're going to review that. There was definitely helmet to helmet. I don't know if it was targeting, because that is, as you described earlier, and we learned last year with a thorough explanation by the officiating crew, that it's not just helmet to helmet that constitutes targeting, right?
Yeah, replay official Michael Davis.
See if we can
looking
see
at that.
Here. I mean, both players lower the head. I don't know. That's.
And we'll see. I mean, that's because the definition, does not necessarily, we learned it's not helmet to helmet. It can be just the crown, leading with the crown of the helmet, and it can be anywhere in the body. You can hit somebody in the chest, anywhere. It's not helmet to helmet. That's not targeting. It's the crown of the helmet hitting the defender or the other person. And that's what the definition of targeting is.
And it's so difficult real time because you're coming in, you know you're going to get hit. On that play, you see the receiver duck his head, or the running back, I'm sorry, and you see the defender coming up and kind of lower his head, and then the collision and hits. And I don't know. I understand why it's a penalty. I understand the need to try to protect the players, but I think there's a difference between an intentional targeting and just a bang-bang play. And I think that was just a bang-bang play. But the rules aren't written that way.
The problem is it's hard to judge intent. Yeah, I mean, you don't know intent. It's hard to judge. It can look like a bang-bang play, but it wasn't. I mean, you don't know. You can't. So that's why you have to have the black and white rule there, like you were talking about.
I agree. But, I mean, in the day, and I'm old enough to remember, you have players like Ronnie Lott and guys like that would lead, and they wanted to hurt you. I mean, that was the goal when they hit you, was to try to hurt you. And I don't think you have a lot of players left. I mean, there's probably some, but I just don't think that's today's NFL, college football. I just don't think that's today's football like it was 30, 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah, no, I agree, but it's all about player safety.
It is, absolutely.
With all the stuff coming out about CTE and everything that's happened with concussions and everything over the last 10 years, it's all about player safety, and it's a good rule to have, and So it's taking a long time for this review.
Well, I think it's they're trying to figure it out. Having said all that, I think that's going to be, if I had to guess, they're going to call targeting on that play, which would mean he's out for the rest of this game and the first half of next game, right?
And we're going to get the call.
After review, there is no foul for targeting. Result of the play is fourth down.
I'm not an official either. I was wrong. No targeting.
But the thing is you got to also understand they have a little bit different angles that they can see in the booth than what we saw too from the angle that we were given. But that is going to be 4th down and 11. We're going to get a field goal attempt coming in for the Cardinals.
Ben
Woodard is 2 of 3. This one, an easy 30-yarder compared to his 42 earlier, right?
Well, there's no easy kicks. Don't jinx them like that, man. It's a fake.
Oh, they're going to fake it. And the throw is caught. Oh, it's incomplete. Incomplete. It was right there and not able to come. But even if he come down with it, he was there again short of the first down marker. And it would have been still the Lions football.
Mason Stallings gets that. He's trying to get that pass through there on that fake. I love the call. The execution just wasn't there. It was a gutsy call. It was a great time of the game. Nobody's expecting it. The pass is just so high, it's kind of a jump ball, 2 defenders, and it's just defended and knocked out. But you're right, he's short of the line.
Yeah,
of
he
game.
catches it at the 3 or 4 yard line. If he comes down, he had to get to the 2, so it still would have been Lions football.
But it was exciting.
It was exciting.
I love it. It was a gutsy call.
I know. I love the call.
It was timed right. It's the right time of the game for something like that.
The Lions take over, back up by 10. Here's a handoff, a nice run.
Oakman just had that left side wide open.
And it's going to get first down on a 10-yard carry. The Lions approaching 100 yards on the ground. That gives them 91.
And the reason I say I like that play there is you have time to recover from that if you don't convert it, provided your defense steps up and makes a stop.
Yeah, no, I like that call. Because you're right, nobody was expecting it. And there's a handoff. Oakman, big hit, but not until he gets up near the 30.
Yeah, if you're going to let E.J. Oakman run that left side like he's done on those last 2 carries, you might as well get on the bus because he had 10 and 6 yards back to back.
Under a minute to play, 3rd quarter. Lions up 23-13. The only offensive touchdown of the game coming in this 3rd quarter.
Lions taking every minute of the clock here, every second.
There's another handoff. That's going to be another first down run by Oakman up to the 34.
And that should get us out of the quarter, right?
I would imagine they're not going to run another play in this 3rd quarter, and that's looks like they are content to take this to the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the clock's their friend. They got the 10-point lead in a very, very defensive game here. So if you know the pace, you understand the rhythm of the game, you want to just take as much of a possession opportunity off the clock as you can, and that's what the Lions are doing here.
Yeah, up by 10. See if they can run some clock. Got the 4th quarter coming up right after this. Start of the fourth quarter, Lions up by 10. Trying to run some clock, we would imagine. He's setting up a screen pass and out near the 40-yard line. Catch is made by Preston Kilgore, the tight end.
Flag comes.
We got an injured player.
Thought I saw something fly across. I think it was just a bug. Kilgore runs this little flat pattern there. Quick out and gets that pass to him, and he's able to get nice yardage. Sets up 2nd and 5 here when play is able to resume.
Tending to injured player, getting up and walking off under his own power.
Zaylen Stoker, is that him?
Yes, yeah. The defensive back. So ball will be at the 39-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 5. So we'll start the clock. And Peace just telling everybody to hold on just a minute. Got 30 seconds still, now 25 seconds on the play clock, and you know he wants to take this down. Just keep running some clock.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take as much air out of the ball as you can by taking time off the clock. That you just don't give that Lamar offense a lot of time to try to get back in this.
Lions to pass, Peace complete at the 40, up to the 42.5-yard line, and Jourdain is going to be a little bit short of the first down marker.
So Greg, something interesting came up, and it was an allegation, we'll say. I don't know if that's not the right word because that sounds official, but I was listening to the coaching show from Lamar with Coach Ross Amando, and he's talking about Ron Peace, about how good a quarterback he is and such, and he claims that Ron played at Lamar and played defense for them before transferring. We tried to research it. We haven't validated that. We'll talk about that more on the other side of this.
Here's a pass, and it is caught right at the sticks, and it's going to be first down marker.
Yeah, felt like
Jaden Proctor, good catch.
Real time, that looked like a pretty friendly spot.
Yeah.
but if you're a Lions fan, you take it, you want to snap this ball before anybody thinks about it. But you did some research because I was telling you about that, and there was a Demarion piece that played high school football at Malakoff, Texas, which is where Ron Peace is from, right? And he was listed as basically the same size, and he was listed as a linebacker for the Cardinals a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I'd like you to do some investigation this week and find out if there's anything to that.
I will see what I can find out. There is a handoff. Oakman with about 3 yards.
Not a lot of room there on that left side.
But that's what, I mean, you get 2nd down and 7, you know, you get those 3-4 yard, you're going to move the chains, and more importantly, you're taking time off of the clock.
Peyton Christensen up to make the tackle, and you're right, the clock keeps moving. There's still a lot of clock left. It's just a 10-point game. What you ideally want to do here if you're East Texas A&M is put a drive together that not only takes time off clock, but score and make it a little more than a 2-point or 2-possession game.
There's a pass. Peace passes through the intended receiver, the tight end, Kilgore.
That was a bullet, just a little too much for Kilgore to get.
So that's when we have 3rd down and 7. So if you're the Cardinals, this is exactly what you want right here. The clock is stopped. You got 3rd down and long, a chance to get off the field, get your offense the ball back.
Yeah, you got to make a stop here if you're the Cardinals because you got to have enough opportunities left on the board to play yourself back into this game, or you have to create a turnover. They've done it once. If the defense can come up with a turnover here, it'd be huge.
Peace. Back to pass across the middle and incomplete.
A little bit behind the receiver there.
Looking for Proctor at the 40-yard line. And Not able to connect. So the Cardinals did exactly what they needed to do, held serve, and now they're going to get the ball back.
And to your point, back-to-back passing plays stop the clock, so you don't get the advantage of running maybe another minute off the clock.
Yeah, they were running the ball so good. And I know they're a passing team, but stopping the clock. Just under 12 minutes to play in the fourth quarter. Cardinals going to get the ball back. The Cardinals have been moving the ball, just have not been able to finish some of these drives.
Rigby also the punter for the Lions. High kick, fair catch called, and not made. Is that a flag?
I did not. Yeah, there's a flag. It's actually Ben Mahan is the punter, number 39.
Okay.
Rigby's 49.
Ben Mahan. Yep, you're right.
It's those nines.
Thank you, because it's rare that happens.
Kick catch interference. Kick number 41. 15-yard penalty from the spot of foul.
So the Cardinals are going to get 15 yards added due to the kicker or interference. And Cardinals are going to have great field position when we come back.
Welcome to Casati Pines at Coshada, nestled in the natural wetlands of southwest Louisiana on 65 acres of looking glass lakes, surrounded by stately pines and live oaks. It's an experience unlike any other. A challenging 18-hole par 72 championship course, 6 sets of tees, and a unique 19th tiebreaker hole. Ranked the 18th best golf course in the USA by Golf Advisor. Casati Pines at Coshada in Kinder, Louisiana. Louisiana's best bet.
Thanks for getting these sub bowls.
Of course, no problem, big bro. Let's eat.
Danny DeVito? What did you do with our uncle?
Well, that doesn't matter. This is a commercial for Jersey Mike's. What matters most are these sub bowls.
Wait, has Danny DeVito been my brother my whole life?
I guess so. Don't tell Mom. Your favorite sub, hot or cold in a bowl. It's a Jersey Mike's thing. A sub above.
What does by your side mean? It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we will be here for you. We are taking care of family, friends, and neighbors, so we care for you like we care for our loved ones. It means at Hunt Regional Healthcare, we continue to invest in services, specialties, and team members to provide the trusted care which our growing community needs. Hunt Regional Healthcare, by your side.
Life can throw you curveballs.
Oh, my parents are coming over for dinner tonight.
Seriously? You could try and brave the supermarket aisles. But the mountain of laundry isn't going to fold itself. Those dirty dishes won't clean themselves. And remember that science fair project? Yeah, it's due tomorrow. Let our personal shoppers do the shopping for you. Their expertise is what sets them apart from the rest. Just convenience and simplicity. So you can get back to doing what matters most and enjoy the ease of curbside pickup at Brookshire's.
Cardinals take over at the 40-yard line after the 15-yard penalty. Kick, catch, interference against the Lions. Penalties, that's 7 penalties for 89 yards, and that's something Coach Dozell talked about this week is the penalties that they are getting. They've got to get rid of some of those as keeper by McCown.
Yeah, just a lot of pressure coming up. He has to get outside and gets forward for maybe a yard on that.
Second down and 9.
Both teams just too many penalties tonight when you look at what's going on. It's going to be both coaching staffs going to look at this, and they're going to be pretty frustrated with the amount of mistakes on both sides of the ball.
Nice pass. Wide receiver screen over to that right side.
Gives that reception. Kyrie Anderson on the tackle.
Coach Dozell called them detrimental penalties, and it's those self-inflicted ones, those false starts, those type of penalties that really just, hurt yourself, put you in bad position. There's a pass over the middle, wide open across the 40-yard line. was
number 20. Blake
Yep,
Thomas. He
yep,
just worked
Blake
himself.
Thomas.
The Lions playing zone there. He works himself into the soft spot of the zone, kind of like Matthews did earlier for the Lions. And perfect pass by McCown to get the chains moved. Going long here. He's
got a receiver, and it's caught. And that was a phenomenal catch.
That was a great catch.
Isaiah Jones.
Isaiah Jones brings it down there. He was right on that sideline. I think I'm going to try to run the play quick here if I can. And I'd almost take a second look at that because that was right on the line. Let's see if he was down before anything comes down out of bounds. See if we can see anything here. He has to go up. He goes up.
There's a handoff across the 5-yard line.
We didn't see that replay finish, but I think he did get him down inbounds with a foot before the rest of his body came down.
McDowell to the 4-yard line.
See where he's at. You see it, and the arm down. It depends on what part of that arm hit first.
Yeah,
that arm was out of bounds.
Close.
It'd have been good to get a better look, but Cardinals get on the ball and get the snap. So it's a moot point now, second goal.
Yeah, and obviously the replays come from the replay official up in the booth, and they're the ones that always signal down. It's a handoff up the middle and into the –
to get in?
Well, I'm not sure. Yep, into the end zone for a touchdown. Joshua Robinson with the first offensive touchdown for the Cardinals.
That's a really good sequence there for the Cardinals. Got the short field off the penalty on the punt and able to get the ball right down the field. Big pass play sets them up with 1st and goal, and a nice run by Robinson to get that score.
And, of course, set up by the defensive stop
at
midfield, getting the ball back. And then, of course, the penalty, 15-yard kicker interference penalty against the Lions. And there's 6 plays, 60 yards in under 3 minutes. And that extra point makes it a 3-point game at 23-20. We got a good one here in Commerce. We'll be right back after this. .05 to play in the 4th, and it is 23-20. East Texas A&M on top of Lamar.
6 plays, 60 yards, their first offensive score or touchdown of the night. Nice look for the Cardinals here.
There's a Fair catch signaled at the 5-yard line. So the ball will be brought out.
So now with 9 minutes left in the game and only a 3-point lead, the whole strategy for the Lions on offense shift, you're not trying to run the clock out. You need to put a drive together that ends in points.
You want to take some time off, but you do definitely want to get some points.
But when you have a 10-point lead, if you can extend a drive and go 5, 6, 7 minutes, even if you don't score, you've done your job because you've limited the amount of time left for Lamar to react. But by the defensive stop that Lamar made and then a 2.5-minute drive, that was very efficient to get down and score that touchdown. You gotta go here if you're the Lions.
Very similar to last year's game. There's a handoff across the 30-yard line. Schenkel with the carry. It was 17-17 going into the fourth quarter last year, and a field goal made it 20-17. 9 minutes left to go in the fourth quarter. Then the Lions are able to kick a field goal to tie it at 20 with just under 2 minutes. And then Lamar kicks a field goal with 11 seconds to go up 23-20. And then they get a touchdown at the end of the game on a fumble recovery. Peace under pressure, and he's going to be brought down.
Peace fortunate to hang on that ball as that number 14 called his name a few times. That's Andrew Hoff comes in. As he stood up, Huff just hammered him.
So let's bring up 3rd down and 6.
That's where you got to go to your lineman and say, hey, make your block. Don't let that guy have a free shot at me like that.
So the Cardinals with a chance once again, this defense, to get off the field, give their offense the ball back. The Lions desperately needing a first down here. There's a pass, and Proctor right at the sticks. We'll see where they mark it. And they're going to have enough for the first down.
Oh, that's another pretty friendly spot. I think he had enough. Okay, that's about where I thought it was. I thought he was going to put it at the 36. It's going to be a first down. It was a tight play, but this time, good pass to Proctor instead of behind him like on that last series.
Much needed first down for the Lions. Go back to the running game as Schenkel gets across the 40, a gain of 6 up to the 41.
That's a tough thing about this Lion offense. If they do run more, you've got KJ Schenkel and EJ Oakman. Both of them are very much punishing runners. Either one of them could be a feature back at this level, and you can just take one out and put the other in. And that's tough on a defense, especially as you get the wear and tear of a game going deep into the 3rd and 4th quarters.
Peace letting that play clock get under 10 before he snaps it. And a keeper by Peace on the option, and he's going to lower his head, dive for the first down. He goes out of bounds. We'll see where they spot it. They're going to put him at the 39, a yard short.
Yeah, he's going to be a little short, and he goes out of bounds. But it's not under, 5 minutes?
Correct.
So the clock keeps running.
So 3rd down and 1.
How big is this 3rd and 1, Greg?
This is huge. I mean, for both teams, Lamar desperately trying to get the ball back, give their offense a chance, and there's a lot of movement.
The offense moved. The right side of the line moved. I'd be surprised if it wasn't on the offense.
Ball start.
Yep.
Offense. Everyone but the center. 5-yard penalty remains.
It's one of my favorite announcements by an official when they say everyone but the center, which means the center didn't get the snap count right. Everybody knew the snap was on 2. The center waited for 3.
It's like it's the only time you don't get called for a penalty, but everybody knows it's your penalty. Right?
Yes, exactly. Everybody but the center. But that makes it a little bit more difficult, 3rd and 6.
Well, now you might have to pass. You know they were going to run there, but you might have to see a pass here.
Proctor in motion for the Lions. Peace back to pass, rolling out, under pressure, in trouble. He's going to throw it, and incomplete, throwing it away out of bounds.
And that
Schenkel
defense,
was in the area.
yeah, he was just throwing that away. That defensive front for the Cardinals has just been creating all kinds of havoc for Peace. As good of a night as he's had, and he's 20 for 30 for 214 yards. It's been rough going, especially in the second half for him.
So now the Cardinals are going to get the ball back with over 5 minutes left in this fourth quarter, down by 3. A chance to take their first lead of this game. Line drive kick, angled out of bounds. Nope, it's going to take a nice Lions roll.
It hit the Lions coverage guy about the 21-yard line. See if they spot it there or move it back. Looks like Cardinals at 17.
Will take over there when we come back. Lions player around the 20, 21-yard line, but ball went out of bounds at the 17, and that's where the Cardinals will get it. Count back to pass, steps up under pressure, and he's going to avoid a sack and gain a couple.
That was just a big-time tackle by Keys, because if he doesn't make that, there's a lot of room for McCown to run there.
Under 5 to play, 3-point game. McCown going to throw it. There's a flag that comes in.
I'm going to say that's going to be a hold.
That's probably the area of it.
Oh, legal man downfield is the
okay.
That's odd on the screenplay because the ball's out so quick. But that was the motion made by that side judge over there.
Talking it
there
over.
There is no foul for ineligible downfield player as the ball was touched at the line of scrimmage.
There we go. So they pick up the flag.
Took time to get it right there.
Yep, I like that. I like them talking it over.
Should be 3rd down and 6. That's a good spot.
Yeah. Looks like 5, 3rd down and 5.
You are correct, sir. Big 3rd down here. I mean, it's not necessarily the end of the game or anything if you don't convert here. You don't have to go for it on 4th down, but Cardinals are going to make it a lot easier on themselves if they can convert this 3rd down.
But that pass completion was Devin Gibbs. McCown sends Gibbs in motion again. He's going to go to that right side and breaking one tackle, but that's it. Maybe a gain of one.
Lions brought everybody on a blitz. There was man coverage. It was just, they were on top of it. It was like number 90, is that right, that made that tackle out there?
Isaiah Jones with the catch. Fourth down, so the Lions defense doing what they needed to do.
Maybe it was 92. That would have been Micah Owens, so it's going to be fourth down punt here.
Nice high spiraling kick. Fair catch called for at the 25. And that's where the Lions will take over with 3.5 to play in the fourth quarter. Remember, Lamar took a timeout earlier, so they only have 2 timeouts plus the 2-minute timeout. So they can stop the clock 3 times.
So they really, I mean, they could probably give up 1, maybe 2 first downs if they were quick, but they don't. That's why I said that third down, it wasn't a must-have, but boy, it sure makes things a little easier on you, because now you're going to have a lot of pressure to try to get the ball down the field. Unless your defense can create something here, even if they go 3 and out, they're going to take you down, either down to the 2-minute timeout, or you're going to burn all your timeouts really quick. So all the Lions need to do is make a few first downs. Cardinals, they've got to have some things break their way and make a stop.
Lions with ball at the 25-yard line. Here's a handoff up the middle and a gain of about 3 to the 28.
Oakman with that run.
Yep.
And they had a corner blitz coming in. If he gets past that first, Oakman gets past that first wave of defenders, he might have taken that to the house. Although we've seen him get caught up with. Didn't have a lot of long distance speed. But he could have got a lot more on that run, but doesn't. Second down and 7.
So the ball be snapped with under 3 minutes on the game clock. Another handoff to Oakman. Oakman's gonna fight forward to the 31, and we're gonna have a timeout now taken by Lamar.
Their second charge of the half.
With it being 3rd down and 4.
Only other Southland Conference game going on is also in the fourth quarter with 8:30 left in the game. HCU up on Northwestern 20-17.
Both those teams winless so far in the Southland Conference.
We had another big game just a few miles southwest of here earlier today.
Yeah.
I think that the Longhorns prevailed, much to the shock of a lot of booming Sooners.
Here it is 3rd down and 4. Lions up by 3.
So you think they're going to run here, but you never know.
And we got a penalty marker down, and that is going to be against the Lions, I would imagine.
I think so.
That's going to bring up 3rd down and 9.
Prior to the snap, timeout. East Texas A&M. First charge.
Okay, so the Lions took a timeout.
48 on the clock. 2, 4,
okay.
8. Thank you.
So
that's a well-spent timeout. If it
yes.
avoids a penalty if you're the Lions.
It does.
It was very fortunate that they're able to get that timeout called. Obviously, the coaching staff saw something that they knew wasn't right, so they called the timeout from the sideline before the flag is thrown.
Both these teams 1-0 in Southland Conference play, looking to get their 2nd win. Southeastern and SFA both at 2-0 in conference play.
Cardinals get to take on the new UT Rio Grande Valley team that just started their football program this year. They're going to be traveling to Beaumont for a matchup with the Cardinals next week.
3rd down and 4. Peace. Back to pass. Under pressure. And he's going to be brought down.
Wow.
Sacked at the 22-yard line.
C.J. Miller in there for the Cardinals. Who gets the sack. He's going to get credit for it. He had another guy back there. But the Cardinal defense is stepping up and making plays in this second half, in this fourth quarter, that they need to make to give themselves a chance.
The Cardinals have taken their last timeout, so they're going to get the ball back on this side of the 2-minute timeout. They'll be able to stop the clock with the 2-minute timeout. What a huge defensive stop that was for the Cardinals. And a huge defensive play when you talk about that sack.
But the Lions going pass all the way there again. I don't know that I understand that, because at least if you run it, and if you don't, you've been having success running the ball. If you don't get the first down, you're still punting, but you're taking some time or forcing a timeout. They still call the timeout, but you gave up 7 yards of field position.
It's the second sack of the night for the Cardinals defense.
Ben Meehan out to punt for the Lions.
High spiraling kick taken at the 39-yard line. Good room on that right side. Still on his feet across the 40 into Lions territory. An excellent field position for the Cardinals.
So Kendon Fusilier last week had a punt return for the touchdown that won the game. He's been the Southland Conference Special Teams Player of the Week the last 2 weeks. Last week he's the National FCS Player of the Week in with one group, and right there he just showed you what he is. He had a great return there to set up the Cardinals with a short field and a real chance to take, like you pointed out, their first lead of the game.
Ball at the 36-yard line, so they're not very far from field goal range to even tie the game, but you know that they're looking for more than that. They're going to try and win this game.
So to match the 42-yarder, they'd have to have the ball down to about the 25-yard line, and they're at the 36, so they need 11 more yards to have a legitimate shot, right?
And here is a handoff.
He's fighting forward.
Right side. Gain of a yard, but a lot of running there by Coleman.
Yeah, Xavier Coleman just fighting forward. He was bottled up at the line of scrimmage. Pulls the defender a couple of yards forward.
Get a play off before the 2-minute timeout. Hand off to Coleman. He's got a lot of room on that right side. There's a flag down, probably holding maybe, but that's a first down run depending on the flag.
So we're going to have to figure out what the penalty is, and also have the 2-minute timeout here.
Offense
wow, holding against the Cardinals. Wow.
That's tough.
Negates a huge run by Xavier Coleman around that right side.
You'll know they'll say that's the reason it was so wide open for him to run if you're on the Lions side of that equation.
That's going to take the ball back to the 44-yard line, and that's going to take us to the 2-minute timeout. We got an exciting finish when we come back. 18 for the Cardinals, back at the 44-yard line of the Lions. McCown, back to pass, rolling, still looking. He's just going to tuck it and run. Gets by one man. They thought he was going to go out of bounds. It looked like the Lions did. And then he just kind of danced around down the sideline and stepped out of bounds at the 33-yard line.
Great
Good
run
game
by McCown. Yeah, his heads up playing. Like, you're right. They thought he was going out, so they kind of pulled up. He just weeds back in and gets about 6 or 7 more yards. Miles finally gets him out. It's going to set up a 3rd and 6.
And that clock stopped with McCown going out of bounds. No timeouts for the Cardinals. McCown back to pass, going to throw it. He's got a receiver. Oh, he drops it. He had the ball, and they're going to say he caught it.
Okay, okay.
We'll have to look at that because Fusilier, they're saying he
and the runner was down
caught
by
it.
rule.
And it's a great
Fourth
spot
down, inbound.
as well. If it's inbounds, then the clock should be running.
Yeah, they're running the clock, and it's 4th down.
That did not look like a catch.
And I think Coach Dozell is going to take a timeout. Maybe give the replay official maybe a little bit of time to look at that.
I think that's the only reason you call that timeout. But I think if you think of the rules, you have to possess it through the catch. You got to catch it and possess it through the play. And I don't think that you see that based on what we saw from here. See, the replay can show us anything definitive here.
And it does look like they are going to look at it.
Trying to get a better look here. See if he makes that catch. Just kind of potentially makes a move there. I don't know. What to see. Let's see what the officials say on this. I don't know. If I'm a Cardinals fan, I say that's a catch. If I'm a Lions fan, I say that's not a catch. But what matters is what the officials say, right, Greg?
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, live, it looked like he did make a move live, but I don't know that if he was bobbling the ball or anything like that. I don't know. So we'll see what they say. But live, I thought it was a good call. Whenever I said he dropped it, yeah, it was going to the ground, but then they called it a catch and they got the ball back.
Either way, it's going to be 4th and 1 or 4th and 6. Cardinals are going to go for it either way, but the range of plays, with a minute 20, you can still run the ball. Clock's going to stop. You got plenty of time. But if you don't make it at a 4th and 6, if it's 4th and 6, it kind of limits you on your options.
Officials taking a while to look at it.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah, and I don't know if they review it if he doesn't call a timeout because the Cardinals were going to try. Well, I don't know if it's 4th and 1. I don't know if you can try and hurry up and get a playoff because you want your best play on a 4th and 1 because you're not going to get the ball back.
Right.
So
I think you could go under center and quarterback sneak it, probably catch him off guard, go on one, something. I think that maybe they had the play called for that in
looks
practice
like
or something.
We're going to get a call here.
After review, the runner's knee was down. The ball was at the 26-yard line, achieving the line to gain.
Wow.
So it's a first down. Not only is it a catch, but they get the first down. And the Cardinals with a whole new set of downs, and that changes the dynamic completely.
That's a big call, and boy, you talk about if that's why Dozell called that timeout. You talk about backfiring on you, because if it's 4th and inches and they go for it and don't get it, it's your ball. But now with the review, they call it a catch, confirm the call, and reposition the spot. First down, Cardinals.
McCown calls for it. He's going to throw it. He's got a receiver, and that is going to be caught. And that's going to be a Coleman with the catch. A penalty comes in after the play.
I'm going to call him for targeting or not necessarily reference. I don't know what else they called for. He wasn't out of bounds. See what they
helmet to helmet hit, maybe,
yeah, maybe
defenseless receiver
which
type thing.
Basically has to be reviewed, right?
Personal foul. Defense, number 31, targeting. The previous play, is under further review.
Yeah, and they call it targeting because then it's under review. And they'll go review it, and if it's a targeting, then it's upheld. If it's not a targeting, then obviously.
See what we got here. He gets to the catch. He's making the move, and the defender comes in and hits right there. It's just whether or not he's leading. And as you said, I don't know. Of course, it's
hard to see from that angle.
And the referee was right there on that play. So kind of got to defer to what he saw.
It's hard to see if it's if he's leading with the crown of the helmet or if he got the shoulder. You know, and it's hard live like that. You see a bang-bang play. They're going to err on the side of the caution and throw the flag. They're going to review it. They can always pick it up and say there's no penalty for targeting, and it'll just be the ball where it's at.
Yeah, because when you watch the replay, it looked like he kind of turns his head away as he's hitting there, so that maybe he didn't lead. But, yeah, that's a tough one.
So we'll see what this replay, second replay on back-to-back plays here.
But everything breaking in the Cardinals' favor here for them to have a chance to take the lead late in this game. They are definitely in field goal range, but now with 1:08 left, they can try to get a touchdown. And either way, whether they score or not as a touchdown, field goal, they leave no time on the clock for the Lions.
And I know you said breaking, but kudos to them for putting themselves in a position for those breaks because they've made some phenomenal plays. And we're going to get this call here.
After review, the call on the field of targeting is upheld. Number 31 has disqualified himself from the game. Penalty says
okay, so an ejection is called against the Lions. Kupu
is out, and he'll have to miss the first half next week, and that's going to move the ball a little closer to the end zone.
Yeah, 6-yard line.
So the Cardinals with a golden opportunity here. First and goal, 1:08 left, and a chance to take the lead for the first time.
And the fact that they reviewed it and upheld it, so, I mean, it's not one of those judgment calls on the field. They reviewed it, and there is a flag, and it's going to be against the Cardinals. Going to back them up 5 yards. This will be first and goal.
Offense, number 31.
The receiver.
Number 1, 5-yard penalty. Made, first down.
First goal, first and goal from the 11.
Reset the game clock.
But as you said, they're in field goal range already. Now it's just a chance. Hey, let's just try and win this and go home 2-0.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You're thinking win all the way. If you're the Cardinals, you got plenty of time. You can get if you're passing the ball, you can get as many plays as you want here. But you could even run the ball here and still have time for 3 plays.
McCown. Back to pass. Rolling out under pressure, and he's just going to throw it away.
Oh, and he had a receiver in the back of the end zone just jumping up and down saying, I'm open, but there was just
There's no foul for intentional grounding. Number 19 was in the area. Second down.
The ball to him.
Second down and goal from the 11. 1 second to play in this fourth quarter. Lions up by 3. Lions have not trailed in the game.
Can this defense do what they've been doing and hold them out of the end zone?
Lions were up by 13 at the break. And there's a pass almost intercepted. Falls incomplete.
It was there. It looked like that was going to be a touchdown. And the defender able to get back at the last second, able to break that up. That's number 10, Anthony Gray, making the play of the game right now for this Lion defense.
Third down and goal. The Lion faithful on their feet.
I don't know why they ran 2 pass plays there. Now, you've got to pass on third down. But on first and second down, there's time to run the ball, and they're a good running team and have had some success here in the second half. But for whatever reason, they elected to pass the ball twice. Third down, you have to pass. And I say that because you probably don't have to pass because you've got 57 seconds left, but you want to be able to stock the clock and get on the ball quick to kick the field goal if you have to do it. 57 seconds, maybe you could still run it here, but I don't know. Timeout. Lions taking some time here to figure out the defense to try to keep them out of the end zone.
Coach Dalzell taking that timeout, and I don't. The scoreboard shows 1 left. I don't know if they did, maybe because they reviewed that play, if maybe they gave back the timeout. I don't know, but the scoreboard still shows 1 for the Lions. I don't know if that's correct or not.
Well, for this Lions defense, biggest play of the game coming up right here for this Cardinal offense. The biggest play of the game coming up right here. See who wins this matchup on this 3rd down play.
They have to get into the end zone. There's no first down that can be had without a defensive penalty.
Without a penalty.
3rd down and goal from the 11. In field goal range if for whatever reason they don't get it. And McCown looking, stepping up. Still looking, and he's just going to keep it himself and be upended at the 9-yard line. And
so that's going to make they got plenty of time, but they're going to have to bring the field goal team in, try to kick what's going to be about a 26-yard try to tie this up. But the objective they've got is even if they don't get the touchdown, if they get this field goal, they don't leave time on the clock for the Lions.
Yep, correct. Woodard.
He's, 3 for 4 tonight?
26-yard field goal attempt to tie the game. The kick is up, and it is good. There's a penalty marker down.
Late flag, man.
At the end.
So the Lions pointed out what they thought was motion by that offensive line, but no flags came in. But then the line judge comes in with a flag well after the play.
12 seconds showing on the clock.
See what the call is here. Looks like it's going against the Lions.
Personal foul, leveraging, defense number 5. Penalty assessed, half the distance to the goal.
So penalties half the distance to the goal and an automatic first down.
I don't know if I'd take that. I mean, you take the points off the board. With 12 seconds left, you're probably going to overtime. But now you take the points off the board. It's 23-20. If you don't score here, you've got 12 seconds. If you don't score here, you just made a decision that loses this ball game.
Leverage penalty.
Okay.
First down and goal from the 5.
They tried to push off on the center.
McCown to the back of the end zone, overthrows the receiver.
So you got 7 seconds left. You can do that at least one more time.
Yeah, a lot of times I'm not a big fan of taking points off the board.
Gutsy call. I mean,
it is
a gutsy call.
But if they get a touchdown here, then everybody thinks you're a genius.
Yeah, you get out of the stadium in regulation, you walk off with a win in a very hard-fought game. If you lose it, you're the villain, right?
Yeah, McCown.
But I think there's a good opportunity to get one more pass like that, and if you don't get it, you come back out and kick another field goal.
2nd and goal. McCown looking into the end zone, touchdown. And it is caught for a touchdown.
Wow.
Lamar Fusilier with a catch with 3 seconds left, and Lamar has just taken their first lead of the game.
Fusilier, the hero last week for the Lamar Cardinals. He's the hero again this week with the go-ahead touchdown, 26-23. The point after try to come here. There's 3 seconds left, but you got to know that that's pretty much it. And the Cardinals, they trailed for 59 minutes and 57 seconds in this game, but they are going to be ahead when it counts.
And the extra point makes it a 27-23 game. And we talked about it earlier. Coach Dalzell for the Lions talked about this week the penalties, the self-inflicted penalties. They have 10 for 105 yards in this game tonight.
Yeah, that's definitely, the killer there. It's what extended it. They were going to overtime most likely with a tie without that leverage call on the extra point attempt. And what a brilliant call by Coach Rosamondo to decline to take the penalty, right?
Yeah.
I'm being
just like we said, right? Just like we were talking about.
Tongue-in-cheek here because I was criticizing a few minutes ago, but now he looks like a genius. They're able to get that pass play, get the touchdown, and take this lead with 3 ticks left on the clock. And it very much looks like the Cardinals are going to leave Commerce, Texas, with their 5th win of the season.
And how about McCown with 285 passing yards on the night, 24 of 33 in the game, 73% completion rating, and the Cardinals with 348 total yards of offense, 63 on the ground, and barring a miracle here, they're going to walk away from this game feeling like they stole this one. Because, I mean, they were down 13 points at half, and they come back, and what a gutsy job in this second half by this Cardinals team.
Aiden McCown just doing what needed done. And
that ball is going to be picked up at the 2-yard line.
Last play of the game.
And there's a pitch back, picked up by the Cardinals, and just like last year, they're going to get a touchdown at the end of the game to walk this one off.
It is insane how much like last year this one ended with the last-second score and then the turnover that I don't know if they're going to score that, but the turnover at the end of the game on a desperation play by the Lions.
And they did give it to them 33-27. The Cardinals are going to win this game by 10 points. And man, what a heartbreak if you are the Lions. You had this game, and all of a sudden you're walking off this field 1-1.
But what a fun game to watch, man. This game was just a defensive battle all through the first half. Comes back, and it is an offensive shootout here. The defense, the defense for the Cardinals just get it done in this fourth quarter. They shut down this Lion offense, and then the offense comes through. Aiden McCown doing what needed done, and with 3 seconds on the clock, he gets the win with that pass to Fusilier. Fusilier, hero 2 weeks in a row for the Cardinals. Cardinals win 5 in a row, improved to 2-0 in conference play.
Yeah, they score 20 points in that fourth quarter, 10 of them in the final 3 seconds. I'm sorry, not 10 of them, 13 of them in the final 3 seconds of the game to win this one. So that's going to do it for Adam Routon. This is Greg Higgins saying so long from Commerce. Final score is Lamar 33, East Texas A&M 23. All games airing on ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.